And best of all, these messages are coming directly from you. Interested in learning more? Contact Megan Powers at 315-768-9500.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Possibility starts with the right financial solutions from Americu Credit Union. Get started today at americu.org/possibility.
BX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950.
And just call us BS.
FM.
Now hold on. Stop that. Let's try that again.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Oh, it said BX, not BS. Okay. All right. There we go. It's Friday morning. Good morning. Davey, are you at all pleased with the decision by Syracuse in their new athletic director? What do you think?
Yes, it kind of caught me by surprise.
He's from Toledo, right?
Yeah, he has previous stints at Washington State, Rice. The big thing is he's really in on the NIL, big fundraising guy.
Well, Boeheim was very critical of Syracuse in that they're one of the four lowest in the ACC when it comes to NIL money.
Yeah, $8 million.
And he's saying you just can't compete. The game is now different. The sport is different. College athletics different.
Yeah.
So if you don't play the game, you're not going to do well. And then on top of it, Boeheim was blistering in his comments.
Yeah,
he's saying he blames the players, two in particular, for Autry being fired.
Toop that participated, in wheelchair basketball last year for the Citron, Donnie
right.
Freeman, and the hometown boy, J.J. Starling.
Well, they just did not perform this year.
Well, J.J. Starling had an injury. Donnie Freeman was out for 11 games, and then after the injury...
It was just a disappointment. Everything was a disappointment.
It'd be interesting to see if he transfers out or stays.
I like Ryan Noble's Manansky. What do you think? His pick is McNamara.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
okay.
It would be great, but I don't know that that's in the cards.
Well, anybody that's feeding you information, okay, just to let you know, either one of you, I'm just saying all of us, you have no idea anymore because you got a new AD sitting in there. And you may be right. It may be somebody that has no ties to Syracuse. Maybe somebody that has more ties to him. You just don't know, right?
We've talked before about being the guy after the guy.
Hodkinson, is that Hopkins? Sorry.
Yeah, but
Hopkins went to Washington. If he comes back, it is because go ahead. The rule of thumb is
you don't want to be the guy who replaces the guy.
You're the guy that takes the bullet, and then they bring in somebody who brings the program back. And I hate to say that was Autry.
But this Toledo AD Blair wasn't even in anybody's being mentioned for.
I know. Well, this is my point.
Everybody
that's making predictions, and I'm not talking about you two in particular. I'm just saying we're hearing all these predictions so far. None of it has been right. The only part that was right is that he was going to be let go, and they didn't waste any time with that. So.
The two other names that are being thrown out beside GMAC are the UFC coach Hopkins and John Shear, who is the St. Louis coach.
Yeah, the guy in...
he's from Western New York, the UFC
Is he the
coach.
Florida? Who's the Florida?
He's the South Florida coach. And Shear is the St. Louis coach.
Yeah, he looks interesting, and he's the Florida guy. Looks interesting, and he's younger.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the Jerry McNamara possibility. But again, you're going with something unproven. So I think you're right. I think it lowers the chances of something like that happening. Well, and then Hopkins, he was doing really well in Seattle until things went south. And then now he's an assistant coach. So
if GMAC does come, will he bring the two other former assistant coaches of players that were on Boeheim's staff with him?
Yeah.
Ryan Blackwell and Onawaku are on.
Well, and I wonder if there's a committee that's really going to be helping in the search, which they did with the AD. And
Tirico.
I do wonder. Tirico was a part of that.
Yes.
So was Boeheim.
Yep.
But I do wonder if Boeheim didn't go all in. He said he should be a contender. I do wonder if what Carmelo Anthony, he's got to have some say. His kid's playing on the team. He's a legend. I would think that he's got to have some input.
But the same night that GMAC won the MAC conference, Boeheim said in that interview on Wednesday, Jerry got 3 calls for interviews already from 3 opening positions.
Yeah,
and 2 of them are in the ACC, Boston College and Georgia Tech.
Wow.
Could you see if he spurs?
Don't even go there. All right, let's see. This weekend, we have our own action. Hamilton College plays against Newman for the NCAA tournament men's college hockey. And they'll host Newman at 7 p.m. over in Clinton. And then at the Adirondack Bank Center, we're looking at Utica taking on Williams. Williams is the least winningest team in the tournament. They got in with a surprise win over Hamilton, knocking off Hamilton as the low seed, upsetting the top seed in the conference championships.
Yeah, Williams comes in at 12, 13, and 2, obviously sub 500, and they beat Hamilton twice in the past, I think, 3 weeks. Actually, they got 2 wins over Hamilton at the end of the season there as Hamilton kind of slipped up. I think they lost 3 out of 4 to end the season, and 2 of those losses were to Williams.
Well, and one thing that we learned last week is that, earlier this week, keep track of my weeks, is that Williams had a couple of key injuries through a good part of the season. They have those players back, and now they're winning. So don't, as Gary Heenan said, don't think of this team as a slouch that's just all of a sudden become a Cinderella team. They're a solid program, and he feels it's going to be a good game on Saturday night, first round of the NCAA tournament, and of course, and this it's all do or die at this point in the season. And for Utica, the pressure is really on because the Frozen Four, the semifinals and finals, will be held at the Adirondack Bank Center. You would hate to have it be held here without Utica involved.
Yeah, I completely agree. A huge opportunity for home ice advantage for the Pioneers if they can make it to the Frozen Four. And, Bill, as you pointed out, these are all single elimination. This is not a best 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5. So if you get off on a bad foot or don't have your A game on a given night and the team knocks you off, that's it.
Okay, so we have a pair of tickets to give away for tomorrow night. We'll get to that. I have Hobica's free money question of the day that is coming up. This morning, Davey, what are we looking at here on a Friday? Going into St. Patrick's weekend for us.
$213 for Friday the 13th.
$213.
Yeah.
All right. I'll run with that. $213.
Unless you want to do $313 for it being March 13th, and do $313
You
for
want to do
Friday the
$313?
13th, too.
It's Friday the 13th.
How about 13?
How about $13?
How about 313.26?
Sure.
Ooh. Okay, so $313. Boy, you upped that one quickly. We'll do that coming up at 7:35 for Friday the 13th leading into St. Patrick's weekend. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., the parade steps off. It is going to be about 30 degrees and probably with a few snowflakes flying tomorrow. Hard to believe after it was, 40 degrees warmer.
I'll be there.
40 degrees warmer earlier in the week. Just crazy.
I will be participating in that parade tomorrow along with other members of the Town Square Media.
All right, be looking for before our man Davey. A couple of stories that are out there. I thought you saw the other night there was a big power outage. And you're ever on the thruway and you see that person you're going fast, maybe. I mean, I'm just speaking out of my own experience.
Okay.
I'm doing pretty good, going fast.
You're faster than everybody else except that guy.
Except for that guy who comes running through and he's doing, 120 miles an hour, and he's weaving in and out of traffic, and there's a line and he wants to get through, and there's this tiny little gap and he squeezes in. I don't know that that's exactly what happened, but this person lost control on the thruway and took out right around Herkimer, took out a National Grid pole, and it was a big one because it took out an entire region over there. All the way down towards Richfield Springs. The power was out the other night. It was when that windstorm was going on. We were getting all of that wind, but the outage had nothing to do with the wind. It was this crash. And then there was another one in Herkimer County on Route 51 during that, about 4:30 in the afternoon, a tractor trailer. And I wonder if the wind played a role with this. It was coming down Route 51. That's over West Winfield to Cedarville, going down to Ilion, that area. And I do wonder if the wind played any role coming around a corner. You saw out in the Midwest, the winds were so strong, tractor trailers were being blown over on the highway.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that wind was pretty good.
I guess so. I didn't know that.
I mean, our wind was pretty good. It wasn't that.
Right. I was just saying I didn't think it was that bad. Holy cow.
Yeah, ours was not that bad. But it was... There were some real gusts of wind to deal with. That story I thought was kind of interesting, which caused a power outage. And then, I mean, what do you... I think of all of the decisions that are made in this next story, just really blow my mind. That because you have the decision, we're going to start. I'll tell you, it's a teacher. We're going to be talking about a public teacher. You have the decisions a public teacher or a former public teacher is making in this case, and then you have the decisions of the sex workers. And then you have the decisions made by the people who've decided to come and patronize the sex workers. I mean, a lot of bad decisions made. A federal grand jury has indicted a former public school teacher in Rochester, 66-year-old Eric Simpson. And here's what we know. He faces one count of using interstate facilities to promote, manage, establish, carry on, and facilitate a prostitution enterprise. He just wasn't doing a little ring. This was an enterprise that he was running. So, according to the indictment, he maintained and used his residence from 2021 to 2025 as a location where it was basically a brothel.
His house?
His home. And in some cases, he was there and participating. Some cases, he was at work and this was going on at his home. Or he wasn't there. It was going on at his home.
Just turn the lights off when you leave.
He regularly organized prostitution parties, arranging for sex workers to be present and available to perform sex acts with himself and those he invited, according to Assistant U.S. Attorney Casey Chalbeck. Now, what do you think is the one? Now, I don't know what happened here, and this is all hypothetical, but he did all of his communications, advertising. He had a tight circle, okay, of people who participated, and they may say, "Hey, I got a guy, Bobby Jobalot. The Jobalots. They own the plumbing place down there in East Aurora. Anyway, he wants to get into the club. All right, I'll add him to the email list. So he's emailing and saying, okay, we've got Tina Tinkerbell coming. We've got what? Davey, give me some good stripper names. Give me some good stripper names. I can't think of any. Wanda wants to. I don't know.
There's Nikki,
Turkey Nikki,
Lexi.
Oh, Lexi. Oh yeah, Lexi's going to be here tonight.
Sabrina, Tiffany.
Tiffany's going to be here tonight. I feel bad for all girls named Tiffany. It does not mean you are thought of as a prostitute.
Bella.
Okay, nonetheless. These also are all dog names. I don't know if you realize. A good dog name. Find your best stripper name and you can name your dog that. We once had a dog named Bella. Okay, so what do you think the biggest problem is in this email, this closed email circle?
He's using his school email?
No.
Oh, no.
No. The biggest problem is somewhere along the line. Now, in some cases, there may be husband-wife who are participating. I mean, this was quite an
enterprise.
An enterprise that he had going. But in other cases, it was just the man. And you know that maybe just the man didn't share with his woman that he was participating in said prostitution ring. And all of a sudden, she's going through emails and one pops up by mistake. And she's like, what is going on? And then she begins to search, does her homework, and before you know it, she's called the authorities.
Wow.
I mean, that's how this, you documented everything in email. So it was like, there was a menu every time the house was active. He'd have people park kind of far away so it wouldn't look like all the activity was his. It was at his house, according to the story, and that there was a menu of things, of women and what the women / possibly men would do in the prostitution ring. There was an admission cost called a donation. And once you got in, you had, it was a la carte for free, I guess, part of your admission price.
Is this, it's kind of...
This is all alleged. Just keep this in mind. This is all alleged.
Reminds me of when the marijuana stuff first started. You could pay a fee to be a member. Before it was legalized to be sold in the store, places that had it.
Right. It'd be a donation. You're not
a donation or a membership fee, and this is what you got for your.
So
membership fee.
I will talk next hour. We'll do the free money question next hour.
How much was the membership fee, by the way? Do we know that?
It doesn't say how much it cost, but it was affordable enough to get them all in, and he had a lot of. It was a successful enterprise until it wasn't. All right, coming up, lots to get to with Willie Waffle and the entertainment world. All the things you can stream and watch and go to the movies and all of that. We'll get to that next hour. Hobica's free money question of the day. For Friday the 13th, Davey has come up with the number $313. We'll give you a chance there. Yesterday, I was out. We'll talk a little real men get tested for cancer. I'll do that right around the free money time. We'll talk about that, what was going on yesterday, because I do owe some apologies. And I do have to say, the people over at Digestive Disease, Dr. Sklar, and that staff over there, I believe it was Dr. Zimmer was the anesthesiologist, and the nursing people and all of everybody was just wonderful. But I do have to apologize, and I'll explain right around 7:35 this morning. Hold tight for that if you're still around. Hope you are. Hold tight. We'll come right back with Willie next on WIBX. Actually, we're late on this, so we'll do this instead. Okay, actually, I don't know why this is all happening, Davey. Let me do this.
Hit it one more time.
Okay, Davey. I'm hitting it, Davey. It doesn't do anything. All right, I'm going to need your help, Davey. All right, you're going to have to move these around because I'm going to Willie. Hello, Willie Waffle. Good morning.
Hey, man, I thought that was like new intro music or something. What's going on?
I know. Here he is, Willie Waffle.
Yeah.
This weekend just so happens to be Oscar weekend, right?
This is the big weekend. And you know, I think that, it feels like the real conversation isn't so much who's going to win, but oh my Lord, will something happen? This has been going on all week. I mean, ever since this report came out earlier in the week that Iran might have a drone that could reach the West Coast, all of Hollywood went, oh man, maybe they're aiming for us. And so I think you're going to see a lot of heightened security, a lot of nervousness around LA this weekend as there's hope that you don't get an incident like what happened at the synagogue out in Detroit yesterday or Old Dominion College, that you have not only some horrible drone attack but just somebody who is acting out and commits a solo act of terrorism. So Hollywood's a little on edge this week.
I didn't think about that,
and a little worried.
But this is Hollywood's Super Bowl this weekend, really, when you think about it. And
I mean, this is the big one.
It's a target. It's a target. There's no doubt about it. That's going to be very, very interesting.
I think so. I mean, I think you're going to probably see a lot of heightened security. I think that, the fans who get to sit in those bleachers and watch the red carpet arrivals will probably have to go through a little bit extra security, and hopefully nothing will happen. I mean, nobody wants a terrorist act on American soil. So, let's hope and pray that does not happen to anybody.
Wow. I just did not think about that as a possibility, but you're absolutely right. Right now, these are scary times. You never know what type of sleeper cells that exist here, and we don't even know it. We have no idea. Interesting.
No. I mean, look what happened in New York City at the protest last week. People are throwing bombs, for God's sake.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing. The only reason we stopped that, and there certainly are some heroic stories that happened in that with police, but the only reason we stopped that is because the kids didn't do it right. They didn't make the bomb correctly.
Right.
Yeah. That's not how it's like, hey, we won the game because they didn't know how to kick the ball.
That's right. We won the game because the quarterback threw it directly to our linebacker at the 1 yard line, and he fell in.
There's gotta be a thing in the back of the mind saying, So, all right, let's talk about theaters. What do you have this weekend in theaters?
Oh man, well in theaters, I mean, there's basically
is this a bad
2 ways
weekend?
to go.
Yeah,
it's not going to be a huge weekend because, the Oscars, there's kind of a tradition in Hollywood that you don't want to put some big blockbuster out this weekend, that, we want people to watch the Oscars. We want the talk to be about the Oscars. You'll see a lot of theaters will be showing Oscar nominees, a chance to see them in the big theater before Sunday. So you get kind of lesser movies. Undertone kind of fits that mold, but it's not a bad movie. I mean, this is kind of a cool little paranormal horror movie. It's about a young woman. She's a caretaker to her mother who's terminally ill, and she basically spends all of her time with her mother and in this old creaky house. And the only time she really talks to the outside world is when she hosts a paranormal podcast at 3 a.m. on Fridays with her buddy. And, she's supposed to be the debunker. She's supposed to be the logical one. But they start getting this audio that people are emailing them that's starting to affect her. And she's starting to hear things go bump around the house.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So, it's a cool, pardon me, it's a cool haunted house movie in that sense that, it's all about these sounds and the atmosphere and, and really, her slowly starting to wonder, is there something real here that I wasn't aware of? And they try to tie in all sorts of stuff about her relationship with her mother and things like that. It really, I think that's the weakest part. I think the strongest part is just, the creepiness of it all. Yeah. So I'm at 3 waffles.
Wow.
I think you're going to do okay.
Wow. The other one worth getting into?
Reminders of him, not as worth getting into as Scarpetta, the Nicole Kidman.
That's what I'm hearing.
On Prime.
This I'm hearing a lot about on Amazon, right?
Yeah, because it's really cool.
All right.
It's Nicole Kidman. It's based on a series of books from Patricia Cornwell, and she is a forensic examiner in Virginia. And she was very, very famous for a case that happened like about 30 years ago. And she ended up there. We learn, or we're going to learn during the series. They put out all sorts of hints that something happened in her life. She left Virginia. She got the heck out of there. But now she's coming back. She's returning to that job that she used to have. And as soon as she returns, a woman ends up dead, just like the women that were killed by the serial killer. And she's starting to wonder, how is this happening? We put that guy in jail. What's going on? And so the whole series is that mystery, right? And we're kind of watching it on parallel lines. So we're seeing the current mystery playing out as she's investigating and questioning what happened years ago. And we're seeing the original investigation from 30 years ago. And how they found that person and why and what that investigation was like. See, that's going on. We see, of course, the messiness of her life. Her sister, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, who's just the biggest pain in the booty you've ever seen in your life. The horrible things that have happened to her niece. Her own upheaval in her life. I mean, the woman's got problems. She needs a smoke and a coffee. Just leave her alone.
And she plays that character. Jamie Curtis plays that character so well, because that's what she plays on The Bear,
awesome.
right? On the
Well, that's the thing. So on The Bear, she's a much more tragic character.
Oh, okay.
I mean, she's really a woman who is struggling with troubles. In Scarpetta, she's just kind of an arrogant, egotistical pain in the butt.
Okay.
And it's kind of funny to watch, and it's extremely annoying to watch, which is what it should be. I like all the little details as we're slowly trying to piece everything together. I'm at like 3 waffles. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, okay.
And you got a great cast in here too, so it's working, man. It's working.
Scarpetta is the name of it, and you can start streaming that. There is, there's so much out there right now with new things streaming, new episodes. You still have, if you haven't seen The Pit yet, my God, you gotta. I didn't see last night's episode yet, but
you should.
Okay, we will. We were ready to watch it, and I had a long day yesterday, and so did my wife. So we decided we're saving it for tonight. Yeah, go.
You know, I'll throw out there Paradise, which, you know, I have really come to love. You know, a great series on Hulu if you've never seen it, with Sterling K. Brown. You know, the first season was shocking and took us to crazy places. We're now into season 2, and, you know, I was questioning if season 2 was worth it. Like, did they tell the whole story we needed in season 1? And they had an episode this week that made me go, God, this is a great show. And they are just back to telling these stories that are shocking and have me wondering what is really going on in this program. I'll throw out my endorsement for Paradise.
Paradise. Man, there's just so much, and it's so well done. It's really incredible. There's another one that we watched that is, I'm gonna preface this by saying you can stream this. It might be Netflix. It's horribly done. It is, I don't know if it's some European company that doing it or whatever, but it's horribly done. And even the open, when you see the open, it's like cheesy, but you can't take your eyes off this friggin' thing. It's called Neighbors.
God, yes, I've seen that.
Oh, my God. Now, do I describe it correctly when I say, you know, terribly done? It's just, and the open is like, what are we about to see here? This is like, but what it is, it's two neighbor fights. So
yes,
a lot of it's
real neighbor fights.
Real ones. A lot of it's in Florida where people are bat blank crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's on HBO Max, if I remember correctly.
All right. You may be right.
And what Bill is telling you is they take each episode, they focus in on, or actually, a couple.
There are two,
not
right?
One, a couple.
There are two, actually four families, two arguments.
Yep. Two arguments. So, like, you know, the one that I watched the other day was, you know, they had this, it was up in I think it was like Montana or someplace in the wide open where neighbors were fighting over whether or not there was a public road or a private road, where one neighbor always liked to take their horses for grazing and the other neighbor's like, that's my land. And then, like, in Florida, they had a fight between this woman who wants to go to the beach, but all the private homeowners who think the beach is their private property, and the battle between them. Yeah, I mean, and these are not like normal people who want to work out their problems.
No.
These are people who want to fight. They want to beat the other side into submission. And you know, I think my only argument with the show is I wish that we knew more about outcomes.
Correct.
Like, I think we see a lot of the fights, but not so much the outcomes.
Yeah, like the most recent episode, in both cases, they just leave you like, all right, well, she put up the bushes on the little strip, the little 2-foot strip of property they're arguing over, like it's 2 feet wide, but you know the woman is not going to stop there. The other woman, you know, something else is going to happen. So you're right, but it's you know, when you have nothing to do, Willie, it's worth getting into.
I'm with you. It makes me think, oh my Lord, this is what society has come to. And part of me is like, I think this has always been happening. We just see it more and we record it more and we make entertainment out of it more now than maybe we did 30 or 40 years ago.
I can only tell you I've had my own experience with something somewhat similar. The difference is I just walked away from it because otherwise it was elevating to the point where this was going to get really, really bad. So I just came up with a solution and avoid. Because who wants to live like that?
No one.
Nobody.
That's the thing that gets me. I mean, at some point, you know, these are people that are in your community. These are people that literally live next door to you. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. And my situation, I was trying to help the person by doing a little mowing for them. And they were told, and this goes way back, they were told that I was trying to steal the property by mowing it. If I mowed it for 5 years, I would own it. And I'm like, actually, I'm just trying to help you out. Well, it all didn't work out. All right, Willie, great stuff. And we'll see what the Oscars bring, and we'll speak with you on it next week.
All right, talk to you next week.
All right, thanks, man.
Bye.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 Utica. From the WB Tain Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
Still searching for two missing. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. After a U.S. military plane crashed in Iraq during the conflict with Iran, 4 other Americans are dead.
This crash in Iraq was a refueling plane, and officials are clear to say there was no enemy fire involved, no friendly fire involved. An investigation is continuing. 4 U.S. service members killed in the crash in western Iraq yesterday. A search underway, a rescue operation for the 2 remaining crew members.
That's Fox's Steve Harrigan in Armenia near the border with Iran, which today keeps firing drones into Gulf countries that house U.S. bases as the U.S. and Israel keep attacking Iran. Next hour, we'll get an update from the War Secretary. After a Trump post early this morning on Truth Social, the president wrote, "Watch what happens to these deranged scumbags today." He told Fox's Brian Kilmeade in an interview that'll air on Brian's radio show at 10 a.m. this morning.
We are decimating them. We've knocked out most of their missiles. We've knocked out many of their drones. We knocked out a lot of the manufacturing areas where they manufacture the missiles and now the drones.
Again, that'll be on the Brian Kilmeade radio show at 10 a.m. Eastern. Out of Michigan, where Fox's Madison Scorpino reports, we're learning more about the attacker who drove a truck into a synagogue near Detroit and started shooting, but he was shot dead by security.
DHS says his name is Ayman Mohammed Ghazali. He's 41 years old. He was born in Lebanon, entered the U.S. in 2010, and became a U.S. citizen in 2016. And according to the Dearborn Heights mayor, where that suspect lived, he lost several members of his family, including his niece and nephew, in an airstrike this weekend in Lebanon as part of the war in Iran. So that may have prompted this attack.
At Old Dominion University in Virginia, a convicted ISIS supporter shot and killed an ROTC instructor and wounded 2 Army personnel, and then others fought back.
There were students that were in that room that subdued him and rendered him no longer alive.
FBI agent Dominique Evans. America's listening to Fox News.
So my friends over at Pure Talk have been sending me customer feedback from consumeraffairs.com, where thousands of people rate and review the top wireless providers. Here, for instance, is a nice note from James in Raleigh, North Carolina, who writes, quote, "After hearing Mike Rowe's ad, we made the switch to Pure Talk, and we couldn't be happier. We went from spending $1,200 a year with T-Mobile to $420 with Pure Talk. Thanks, Mike. Switch today! Exclamation point. Pure Talk is saving James $820 a year. And because he literally wrote the words "switch today" in capital letters with an exclamation point, I'm going to go ahead and dedicate this commercial to him. So folks, take it from James in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pure Talk can give you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month on the same 5G service the big guys are overcharging you for. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. You'll also save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 to save an additional 50%. Thanks, James.
Long security lines may continue today at some airports as TSA workers keep having to work without pay, prompting some agents to not show up. As Homeland Security remains mostly unfunded at 28th day. The standoff continues in Congress, Democrats demanding immigration enforcement reforms as they hold up new funding.
Democrats wanted to fund various aspects of DHS piecemeal, TSA, or the Coast Guard, as part of a demand that Republicans consider reforms to ICE and Customs and Border Protection. Senate Majority Leader John Thune and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer sparred on the Senate floor.
I assume the Democrat leader is aware of the fact that we have tried repeatedly to fund everything temporarily to allow the negotiations over the ICE budget to continue.
I am well aware, but that hasn't worked. What can work,
and the reason that hasn't
not yielding back
is because the Democrats have blocked it.
So for the fourth time, the vote to fund DHS has failed. The count was 51-46, with Leader Thune voting against it as part of a procedure so he could bring the motion back up later on. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Senate Democrats are also pushing legislation to prevent President Trump from attacking another country, Cuba, without congressional approval, though other war powers resolutions related to Venezuela and Iran have been voted down by Republicans. Oil prices have been down a bit today, while on Wall Street stock futures are rising modestly the day after a big sell-off dragged the Dow down 739 points. In college basketball, an undefeated team finally loses.
Skaljack, 3 seconds left, fired a three. How about UMass?
The call on ESPN Plus as UMass upset Miami of Ohio in the MAC Conference Tournament after Miami had finished the regular season 31-0. In the NBA, Thunderstar Shai Gilgeous-Alexander set a record with 20 points in at least 127 consecutive games, eclipsing a mark set by Wilt Chamberlain. He finished with 35, leading Oklahoma City to a win over Boston. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
We have clear skies and 26 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:05. A pair of benefits planned this weekend for the first responders still recovering from the explosion at Abundant Life Fellowship Church in Boonville last month. Tonight, a fundraiser is happening at Station 233 in Westmoreland. The Dusty Puppies playing there from 7 until 10 tonight. And a fundraising bowling tournament is happening on Saturday and Sunday at the Boonville Bowling Alley. The church was obliterated by a gas explosion that severely injured 4 firefighters and the church pastor. Madison County Sheriff Todd Hood joining a nationwide public safety campaign led by the National Sheriff's Association, looking to strengthen public awareness about fraud and scams targeting communities across the country. As part of the initiative, Sheriff Hood joined more than a dozen sheriffs to record public service announcements now being distributed for broadcast. Criminal networks are using phone calls, texts, social media, and fraudulent ads online to deceive Americans, often posing as law enforcement, legitimate businesses, or people victims can trust. Americans now see an estimated $15 billion worth of fraudulent ads online every day. And last year, consumers lost $12.5 billion nationwide to frauds and scams. The St. Patrick's Day Parade in Utica steps off on Genesee Street tomorrow morning at 10. A reminder for parade goers, Adarino Construction and the parade committee are once again collecting non-perishable food, and the benefits will benefit Mother Mary Ann's West Side Kitchen. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:07. Here's a look at your Weather Center forecast.
Snow and rain in the forecast, and maybe 6+ inches of snowfall easily in the North Country. Now, the winter weather advisory does now get into northern Oneida County, 11 o'clock this morning until 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, where there could be in excess of 6 inches of snow up near Boonville. Further south, it's occasional snow and rain today near 40 degrees. Tonight, rain and snow showers over to all snow showers late 29, so maybe a light accumulation in the morning on Saturday before the snow showers end, up to the mid-30s with a gusty breeze, making it feel like winter once again. And a chance of snow changing to rain Sunday. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stidgick, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, clear skies, 26 degrees at 7:08. All right, in sports, a new athletic director at Syracuse University, Brian Blair, has been selected to take over for John Wildhack, who said a few weeks ago he was leaving the position after 10 years. Blair has been the vice president and athletics director at the University of Toledo since 2022. In a statement, Blair promised to build a modern athletics enterprise and said the best days of Syracuse sports are still ahead. Falcons edge rusher James Pierce facing felony charges from last month's incident involving WNBA player Rakia Jackson. Miami-Dade authorities say the 22-year-old has been charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, fleeing from police and resisting an officer with violence. Police say Pierce rammed his car into Jackson's after he made threats against her. The New York Giants adding an option on offense. They've signed free agent wide receiver Calvin Austin, a one-year deal worth up to $4.5 million. Austin recorded 3 touchdowns and 372 receiving yards for the Steelers last season. The 49ers bringing back a familiar face on defense, linebacker Dre Greenlaw signing a one-year deal worth $7.5 million. The Knicks will play the Pacers tonight, looking for back-to-back victories. The Nets came up short in Atlanta, 108-97. Brooklyn has now dropped back-to-back games. They visit the 76ers tomorrow night. And local hockey, the Utica Pioneers in the opening round of the NCAA Division III Men's Hockey National Tournament, a national championship tournament. The Pioneers are at home at the Adirondack Bank Center tomorrow. They will take on Williams. The puck is set to drop at 7 o'clock. Meanwhile, Hamilton is at home for first-round action as they host Newman at the Russell Sage Rink in Clinton.
Are you following the World Baseball Classic?
A little bit.
The U.S. is back in it.
Yeah.
After the Italians, pummeled Mexico.
Yes.
Do you know who we, United States, play next?
We play today. Is it Canada?
Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an 8 o'clock game tonight, and people are saying, is this a rematch of the gold medal game? Now, keep in mind, you have a lot of Canadian baseball players. So a lot of these teams just filled with Major League Baseball players.
Oh, absolutely.
So, when one team wins and you're like shocked by it, don't be so shocked because many of them are all playing in the United States anyway in Major League Baseball. But the U.S.-Canada game will be interesting. On paper, Team USA has the star power to put this one away, but star power doesn't guarantee wins, right? I mean, is Judge off tonight, or is he playing? Is he playing like the home run hitter he is? Is everybody else hitting the ball? Are they getting on base? Team USA does have that star power. Just as the pitching staff, they're tied for giving up the most home runs in the World Baseball Classic. Canada has the talent and should not be overlooked. And of course, nor should Italy or other teams.
Yeah, have you seen Italy's head coach Francisco Cervelli, the former Yankee?
And I also I think it's funny when they get done scoring or hitting a home run, I completely can identify with shooting back a shot of espresso.
That's funny. What was John Sterling's call for Cervelli home runs? Do you remember, Smitty? I can't remember what it was. I'm sure it had some Italian phrase in it.
Well, all I can tell you is it's kind of fun to watch, and before you know it, baseball will be in just 2 weeks. Baseball will be back. Major League Baseball will be out of preseason, and I'm sure you've seen this story around, but apparently there's truth to it. That
the Cisco Kid, that's what he used to call him.
Cisco Kid. All right. Old person smell is real.
Okay.
According to science, Dr. Sonai Shuderi, he says that there's an organic compound called nonennial, 2-nonennial or something like that. Starts showing up more as your skin gets older, and that you become, really after the age of 40, as you get a little older, you begin to get what is known as old person smell. Now, interestingly, a lot of people will say a baby.
I was just going to say that.
A baby has this beautiful smell.
They
right?
do.
Unless their diaper's full. But the skin of the baby has a bit. So as the skin gets older, it may not have that beautiful smell, which is why I think women are really good at putting all the creams all over. And it's like, wow, what is that smell? Oh, it's you. That smells really good. Mm-hmm. Whereas guys, not so much. Unless you're Italian, and then, you wear cologne. Or European, they all wear cologne in Europe. But I don't know. The old person smell is a real deal. Here's actually audio proof of it. Here we go.
This place has got old man stink. Don't listen to him, sir. You've got an enchanting musk.
Yeah. Take it for what it is. Old person smell scientifically does exist. Here is Mike and Skyler with Oscar Talk. Dun, dun, dun.
Hey, what's going on?
I might even have music for you for Oscar Talk. I should have known you were coming. Are you coming today, by the way? Okay. Are you coming, literally coming?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes. Yep.
Don't wait long because
I
listen,
won't. I'll be right
listen,
there.
the show ends and you can see you can actually see the smoke in the distance. I'm just saying.
Yep, I can understand it.
All right, here we go. And it's Friday. We're going into the weekend here. This is
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah, Friday the 13th.
Okay, hold on. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Mike and Skyler. Here he is, Mike and Skyler with Oscar predictions. Yeah, okay. What are you predicting?
So I think what's going to win the big one, what's going to win the best picture is One Battle After Another. That was Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay.
I did watch it. I watched 8 of the 10 films. The 2 I didn't watch are the foreign ones. I didn't watch.
What did you think of Hamnet? What did you think of that?
That was something. It was pretty good.
I thought that was really good. I liked that a lot.
Best actor, I think. By
the way,
for Marty Supreme. Yes.
Okay. I did not know that Hamnet was the actual name of Hamlet. I guess I didn't know.
Yeah, because Hamlet and Hamnet are brothers. I think.
Yeah.
I think they're brothers.
Yeah.
And But I think Best Actor definitely is going to be the Tim Chalamet from Marty Supreme. Did you see that movie, Marty Supreme?
I did, yeah.
That was good.
I liked that a lot. I thought that was very good.
I thought he did really good. And
I thought that was an excellent movie.
I think Kate Hudson's going to win that song Sung Blue from the Neil Diamond tribute.
I got to tell you, I saw that movie too, and I loved it. I thought it was going to be just another like tribute movie. You know, all the history of Neil Diamond has nothing to do with that. And
I know.
The twist is so cool. And then you find out, you can go, I love, after watching a movie, my wife hates this, I will go on YouTube and search up the real clips that exist, because this is based on a real story. And this couple really was out there performing. And without giving away a spoiler alert, she really was, I think, twice hit in front of her house by a car while she was planting flowers in front of her house.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
and
we watched.
It's all real.
Documentary. Of
Yeah.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good
documentary.
Yes, there's a documentary out there about the real couple. But I thought you were right. Kate Hudson did a really, really good job.
And what's funny is I was thinking about it because Kate Hudson, that's Goldie Hawn's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, did you know her mother actually won an Oscar?
Yes.
Goldie Hawn won one.
Yeah.
In 1970. My mother-daughter, I don't think we both ever won one together. They've been nominated, but I don't think they've ever won. So it'll be interesting if she wins.
Yeah, that's cool. Anything else? Any other predictions for it? And, I think Conan O'Brien is going to do a really good job. I think he's funny. He has that dry humor. I like him. He's not going to rip on everybody. That's not his way. But I think he's funny.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So I wanted to tell you, too, the series I'm looking forward to. Madison's coming out Sunday.
What is
Madison?
Madison?
You heard about that?
No.
Michelle Pfeiffer, Kurt Russell's in that. This is the same one that wrote Yellowstone and Landman, the writer there.
Okay.
But that looks really good. I can't even see previews for that.
Is that on Paramount? Is that on Paramount or it is? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
It is on Paramount.
So what is this the remake of Yellowstone?
Well, no, it's the Taylor Sheridan. He wrote those stories. It's like a brand new story. It's a different. I don't think it's like related. It's just he's a good writer because Landman has nothing to do with
that's
Yellowstone,
true.
but it's a good.
What a weird!
Show,
I mean, that show was so on fire, and then you get the main character gets into an argument with the producer writer, and everything blows up, and it just goes away. That just was nuts. Yeah, Kevin Costner. All right, anything else?
It's funny because you were talking about Neighbors.
That
my
show.
fiance watches that show. I never even heard about it. I might start watching that.
Yeah,
too.
it's worth watching. There'll be points where you're like, that reminds me of so and so down the street. Like here's this old lady. I walked into the room. My wife was watching it. This old lady. There's this little stretch of land. It's probably about 20 feet long and about 2 feet wide along the driveway. And the woman who doesn't own the driveway believes that's her property. And she's lived there for a long time. And then the woman who lives next door to her, who's not as old, believes it's her property. And turns out, I believe that it is. So she's planting some bushes along her property, the woman who has the driveway. And the old lady sees it, and she comes running out, and she's flailing all over the place, picking up these bushes and throwing them over at her car and the whole. I'm like, this is Florida. And it is. Both of these stories were out of Florida this week. So
that's too funny.
It is worth watching.
Definitely check it out. Check it out.
All right, Mike. Good deal. Thank you, man.
You're welcome.
All right.
See you a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Go Oscars.
Yep, thank you.
He treats it like it's a Super Bowl. Go Oscars.
I do have to tell you, I am aware, I've heard this before, and I don't think it's true. I guess it depends on how far it gets stretched and what the actual details are, but this whole idea that maintaining or caring for a property over a period of time, that people have assumed responsibility or ownership of it.
Well, you know that I have a little knowledge on this topic.
Yeah, well,
a little history. So here's where it doesn't work, and this really goes back to the times when we were giving plots of land away out in the Midwest and out west, and people were the government was, have you maintained this property for more than 5 years? It'll be yours. So if you're in a, if you're, think of this just for a moment. Mm-hmm. Let's look at it logically. If you own a piece of property and you pay the taxes on said piece of property, and even go a little further, which I don't even know if it has anything to do with it, and your property is basically maintained, there aren't any codes violations, there's none of the, if your neighbor could mow that section of your property till the end of time, and they will never, ever own it. Now, where you may lose that property is if you stop paying taxes on it, and there's all of a sudden a court proceeding, and I don't even think the neighbor who's been mowing it gets it at that point. It would be taken by the city or the town. So by today's standards, there is no scenario where if you're paying your taxes, if you own property, you're going to give it up because your neighbor's mowing your lawn.
Well, I was going to say, I kind of hope that might be true. Could you imagine if you could go to a next door property and say, oh, I see your porch is a little scratched. I touched it up there with some paint.
Yeah, it's mine now.
Yeah, and I've been changing the light bulbs. I sweep this deck.
Love the Lexus.
Yeah,
I love the Lexus.
Saw the tires were a little low. I filled those up.
Yep, we've been polishing that baby up. Love it. Listen, here's another example. So on where I once lived, there was a plot of land that was, when we had moved in, it was our house, a plot of land, and then the neighbor's house. Okay, so when we moved into that place, the lawn was mowed there. Everything was all, and there's this small, and the owner who sold the house is like, no one's ever going to move over there. It's not big enough to build a house on. I'm like, all right, why would you have that lot? It must have just been left over. And they're like, what are we going to do with it? We'll just leave it here and let trees grow. So the neighbor on the other side encroached just a little bit, and then the neighbor the guy who owned our house at the time, mowed a little bit of it, cut a few trees down. Before you know it, so one day I decided, let me bring out the coordinates and take a look at where the property actually ends. And I learned that the lawn that this guy had sold us, about 15 or 20 feet of it was on that plot in between us and the other neighbor was large enough to build. In fact, it was the same size as our plot. That over the years, though, people had just taken it and mowed it and taken care of it. Now, one would think it is a plot of land that has for 20 years been untouched. Trees are growing on it, the whole 9 yards. But over on the left side, the neighbor's been mowing about 10, 15 feet of it. On the right side, the neighbor even has a fence going on that property. At the end of the day, the people who owned that property, they owned that property. And if they said, we've sold it and you got to tear your fence down and that lawn that you've been taking care of is ours now, that's what would happen.
Yeah.
So by today's standards, I don't see any of this happening.
I agree.
But not everybody knows that.
No.
Some people, which makes you kind of think the days of, there are people you can do a good deed for. We have wonderful neighbors who, I have neighbors who they'll hear that I'm out sick on a day and all of a sudden I'll come home and my driveway is shoveled. Good people. But there are a few of those paranoid people who belong on this program on HBO called Neighbors. Get a chance to watch it. It's fun. Feel free to check it out.
Do you have to pay a parking fee when they maintain that driveway for you?
You might have to. Hold tight, 7:24. Coming up, I will get into yesterday. I was off yesterday, and real men get tested. I do want to talk about a little bit of that and the importance of getting tested. And I do have to make some apologies to the people over at Digestive Disease, and in particular, I don't know what he looks like. I don't know. All I know is there was a curtain in between us, and he was right next to me, and I could hear him getting prepped. I didn't know what was going on, but talking to the anesthesiologist like I did. And the one thing I did hear is he'll be about 15 minutes. You're right after him. And I'll explain my apology coming up in a second. Here's Wayne. Hi, Wayne. Good morning.
Hey, guys. I got I'm both at my mom's house and at my house. At my house, I got lazy neighbors on both sides. So when I'm out there, I don't care what they think. I mow their lawn if it's too long. I just mow it along with mine. I don't do their backyard.
And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you. I thought the same way. I'm like, I'm doing a favor. But my son has a video of me being chased by the neighbor. I have no idea I'm being chased. I'm on my garden tractor mowing away, but behind me, I can't hear a thing, but behind me, I'm like being chased down.
Oh, my goodness.
Honest to God. And that was the last day for me. I'm like, okay, I'm going to specifically look at my line. I think it's so rude to mow right up to your line, Wayne. So you have this little line, and there's a lawn right next to it. I think it's the rudest thing in the world. Of like, this is mine, that's yours. I'm not mowing any of it.
Now
I'm not
get your mower out here and get this strip here.
Get this because it looks bad now that I've mowed. It doesn't look good. So, but I cannot do that because I'm a bad person apparently for doing that. But you do it anyway.
I just don't like mine looking bad. Well, I don't want mine looking bad. When I do mine and I look over there and it hasn't been done for 3 weeks, and I'm like,
it makes yours look bad. It makes the whole neighborhood look bad.
That's it. I even rake. I clean their curb because they let the curb like overgrow with you know what I'm saying.
Let me just send them a bill. Let me just say, I know the law doesn't support it, but you should own their property after that.
At least the curb.
At least the curb. That's right. It's yours. And they don't complain to you about it though.
Well, I don't know. They're what you call it? They're
well, they don't say anything.
So I don't if they are complaining, they're complaining in another language where I don't care.
They're foreigners. Meanwhile, it's like everything's gracias. Gracias. You think they're saying grass. It's like gracias. They're thanking you. They're saying thank you. Oh, Lord. All right.
I actually, Bill, you know what I did, Bill? I gave them a lawnmower. I had a lawnmower. I went and got a new electric one. I gave them my old gas one.
Yeah.
I said, here you go. I even gave them a gas can. So
it's like
now
giving a coworker a bar of antiperspirant.
They didn't have a mower, though, Bill. They didn't have a mower. So I gave them that and a gas can, and they've been doing it.
It's worked.
Yeah, it's worked.
All right. Okay. Good stuff, Wayne. Thank you, man.
Later.
Have a good one. Quick break. We'll come back. And I'll make my official apology, coming right up at WIBX.
Americans are paying more for home and auto insurance, and many are asking what can actually bring those costs down. American Property Casualty Insurance Association President and CEO David Sampson says inflation and disasters play a role, but addressing legal system abuse is a key part of the solution.
Excessive legal costs drive insurance prices higher. States that reduce legal system abuse are seeing stronger markets and lower rates. Addressing these costs help protect consumers.
Learn more at apci.org/insurance.
Start your savings at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Now through March 31st, get up to $170 back on a Firestone prepaid MasterCard. Get up to $70 when you buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires. Get an additional $100 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your Tallman's Tire CFNA credit card. Don't wait. These offers end March 31st. Visit Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, or online at tallmanstire.com.
The deals are exploding at Steve Pawnee Chevrolet in Herkimer. And if you've been thinking about upgrading your ride, now's the moment to move. For a limited time, we're offering supplier pricing for all on the powerful 2026 Chevy Silverado half-ton lineup. That's serious savings on one of America's toughest trucks. Take the 2026 Silverado Crew Cab RST 4-wheel drive and save over $8,000 on a truck built to work hard and look great. Looking for something versatile? Lease a brand new 2026 Chevy Equinox LT all-wheel drive for just $329 a month for 36 months with 10,000 miles per year. Don't wait. These offers end March 31st. Silverado offer requires a 2012 or newer Chevrolet in the household. Equinox lease requires a current lease in the household, $3,000 down plus first payment, all taxes and fees due at delivery. Customer must qualify for top-tier credit through GM Financial. See salesperson for details. Stop in and see why it's always easy to do business at Steve Pawnee Chevrolet. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Possibility starts with the right financial solutions. From AmeriQ Credit Union. Get started today at ameriq.org/possibility.
Utica and the Mohawk Valley, do not overpay for your next mattress. Mattress Express is upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer. Take advantage of our guaranteed lowest price program. Bring in any locally advertised price or quote on a brand we carry. We will beat the price. Furthermore, if within 90 days of purchase you see that mattress advertised for less, bring it to our attention. We will refund the difference. Selection, no one in New York State has all these brands under one roof except Mattress Express. Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, Purple, Puffy, the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh & Lavish, Therapeutic, Simmons Beauty Rest Black, Serta Eye Comfort, Avocado, and more. On New Hartford and Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies Plus. In Oneida and the Glenwood Plaza by the movie theaters. And Rome on Black River Boulevard. Open 7 days a week. Go to mattressexpressny.com. Call 1-800-NEW-BED.
Contractors and landscapers, be able to take on more jobs and get your current projects done with Warner Sales and Service. Whether it's the tough lifting and digging or the more precise work with attachments, Warner Sales and Service has the Bobcat rental to make sure your projects get done. Tough work demands tough equipment, so stop in today at Warner Sales and Service, just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona, and at WarnerSS.com.
Where quality still counts at Warner's.
Hurt in a car? Call William Mattar. 315-444-4444.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ROAD to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ROAD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ROAD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hey, River Hills Properties continues to invest in upstate New York, but beyond. And you know it's all about services. That is their investment in helping you invest in your home or sell your home and maybe upsize, downsize, moving on up, moving on down. And maybe that includes the Gulf Coast of Florida, Sarasota, Naples, Marco Island, where it is beautiful. And so you live down there during the winter, you live up here during the summer. That's an awesome possibility. It wouldn't be great if you had a real estate agency, people you've heard of, you know, maybe that you can trust, like River Hills, whether it be Robin Monjo or Andrew Dominio or any of the agents that handle both up here and down there in Florida. That's the case. It's River Hills Properties in Sarasota, the Gulf Coast of Florida, as well as River Hills Properties investing in upstate New York with offices in Barneville, Little Falls, and Utica, Copenhagen, Newport, coming soon to Rome. It's River Hills Properties, and it's all about the services provided, the extra things they do to help you, like you have a team that's working towards helping you sell your home. That's the River Hills way. Call this number and ask for a little assistance. Or even you want a value on your current property. I think you might be surprised. 315-896-1009.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, coming up, we're going to give you a chance to win Hobica's free money question of the day. $313 for Friday the 13th, says Davey. And also, I have Pioneers tickets for tomorrow night's game, a pair of tickets to give away that we'll get to coming up in just a second. Jake in Utica. Good morning, Jake. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I think at best, the Giants 7-10.
Oh, we're talking NFL here.
Just a minute or two.
Manansky, I got to tell you, Manansky's all in. He's like playoff bound.
And I hope he's right. But I don't see it.
Well, I can tell you we're going to have an easier schedule than we had last year, and I think we have a much more team and a more stable organization now.
We'll see. Anyway, Bill.
Yes.
Happy day. Tua's gone. I'm a Dolphins fan, but for the last 3 years, I've been rooting for Buffalo. Atlanta can have him. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Jimmy Johnson coached the Dolphins? Everybody was saying, "Oh boy, Miami's going to the Super Bowl." And it don't work like that. If you don't have the team, doesn't matter how great your coach is.
Well, I mean, we're seeing that with Syracuse, right? And Boeheim complaining that the money's not being spent in the NIL, which means you're just not getting the players. And how do you compete?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, how about the Syracuse girls team? They won over 20 games.
Yeah, and they've kept the the Nye contract. They're the ones that are all focused in the Nye commercials. You don't see the men's team anymore because they've been horrible.
The Syracuse team, Bill, is really good.
Yeah, it is good. So, all right, good stuff there, Jake. Thanks, man.
Have a great day, guys.
You do the same. All right, so
that Syracuse girls basketball team, I'll tell you. I don't know if they're going far in the tournament, but they can sell some vehicles.
They can sell vehicles. All right. Without getting into too much, I got to tell you, for real men get tested for cancer, and I know Tim Reed is out there this morning. Actually had a comment this morning. Ann's got a comment. I'll get to everybody's. Father Sean O'Brien out there this morning. Good morning. Julie. Adverse possession is what Father Sean O'Brien talked about. And Julie says... it's an obsolete concept. There are many conditions that need to be met to get possession that rarely happen without a landowner taking his own action. And that's the problem that you have, is that if you don't pay your taxes, it's going to be the township or wherever you owe the taxes to, the village or whatever. They're the ones who are going to take the property. The neighbor next door who's been mowing the lawn is not going to get the property.
But I pluck the dandelions, too. When the dandelions come up, I de-weed them.
That's a good point. I mean, maybe that
doesn't count for tax revenue?
So I know I've been off for a little bit in the last couple of weeks. Somehow I just, I was catching everything, but I think we might know what it was. So nonetheless, I've been having these, and this is where I come back to real men get tested. Guys, we tend to procrastinate. A good thing is a bad thing that we do, I think, is when you kind of give a condition, a symptom that you might be having, and you blame it on something else that isn't cancer. Like, oh, it's hemorrhoids, nothing to worry about. So it is so important to get tested, but that goes beyond just your testing for cancer. It's your blood work. So in the last 8 months, and I'm on this what is called a TKI. It is a medicine that allows me to live a normal life with CML, chronic myeloid leukemia. So that has to be taken every day, and in some cases, it can create anemia. And in my case, it was showing low blood levels. I was having a low red blood count. I think low hemoglobin. But it was showing that I was low on blood, low on iron. So I had to get an infusion. I did back in August. They said this should take care of it. Well, all of a sudden, it was low again, and I had to get another one. So the doctors in Roswell and Dr. Desai here at the Mohawk Valley Cancer Center both said you need to get a colonoscopy and have it checked out, especially with a history of colon cancer, because you could have some internal bleeding. This is more apt to be internal bleeding than the medicine, because the medicine that I'm on doesn't tend to cause anemia. Even though the other TKIs do, the one that I'm on and in a trial for does not, nonetheless. So we're thinking it's the medicine. So I go in yesterday, and the person I want to say I'm sorry to is the entire office over there at Digestive Disease, who I think they're wonderful. Dr. Scalar and the full staff. And then there's the guy who was sitting next to me, who the anesthesiologist, who Mike this morning said, Dr. Zimmer, the anesthesiologist, what is his line, because it's a good one, is the Well, he's the guy that puts you to sleep. Yeah. Anyway, I can't find it. Nonetheless, so he said to the guy sitting next to me, no worries, you're second in line this morning, because we all get there at 7:30, 8 o'clock waiting for the colonoscopy. But he said the guy next to you has a double. That's me. And he has a colonoscopy and an endoscopy. So, but it'll take about 5 minutes for the endoscopy, about 5 to 10 minutes for the colonoscopy, and you'll be in right after him. That was at about 7:40. So I don't think I ended up getting out. My procedure lasted well over an hour. And I don't think I got, because while the colonoscopy went well, sure enough, there was internal bleeding. And which is why it's so important to follow what your doctor says. I could have gone on and said, well, let's see another 6 months, see what happens, get an iron infusion. But going and having the endoscopy done, they found what the doctor described. And by the way, it's the greatest sleep in the world. The propofol is just the greatest sleep you will have. I mean, I woke, I can remember the nurse saying, just breathe it in, don't fight it. And that's the last I remember until the doctor was in giving me the results. But he described them as several, too many to count, giant polyps that were bleeding in your stomach.
Oh, my gosh.
Like it was bad. And it's to the point where they got most of it, and I have to go back in November to have the rest done.
Oh,
so I'm a little bit sore today, just a little bit tender, because, you know, for each one they get rid of, there's like a suture that puts it. But there really was internal bleeding going on. Now, the hope is, and he said that it doesn't look like it's cancerous, so the hope is when that comes back, everything is good. And but this could not be a better example of making sure you get your blood work. And if there's something abnormal, don't pass it off as something else, because if you let it go, it will turn to something really, really bad, which is why Tim Reed and I talk about real men get tested. Real men get tested for cancer, men and women, but men tend to be stubborn, which is why we focus on the guys. Let's focus on giving some stuff away.
So you're all right.
Everything's good.
All right, good.
Everything's good, but I couldn't, I had this whole plan of getting out of there, having sausage, and I was gonna go get a mellow sub yesterday, and then they put me on this 1 week very restrictive diet because of all the cuts in my stomach. So I'll save that for next week.
I can imagine that you were heading out there thinking, oh boy, I'm going to take this nap, and then I'm going to get a sausage and pepper sandwich.
When we were in the room with Dr. Scalar and the nursing staff and Dr. Zimmer, we're all talking about Howie, who does the neon clocks, just neon, how he's moving into a new place. And then he's like, hey, have you tried out, there's a new pastrami restaurant over in Washington Mills, over in the plaza you got to try out. Anybody heard of that?
No, but I'm going to try it today.
In a week, I'm going to try it. And he said it's pastrami like you'd get in New York City.
It's in Washington Mills.
And it's in the plaza, maybe over by the liquor store or over by Charlie's. I don't know where, but over somewhere in there. He said you'll see it. So I will check that out.
That's been getting ready to open for the last couple of weeks. I know where you're talking about.
Open.
Over there in Hannaford Plaza.
Yeah. He said the Dr. Scalar said it's amazing. So one to check out.
But you are right. That is some of the best sleep ever.
Smash and Bite?
Smash and Bite is the name of it. It is the best sleep you will get. I mean, all I remember her saying was, don't fight it. And I just breathed in, and apparently an hour and a half later, I was sitting in the recovery room. All right, let's do a WIBX free money question. It's worth $313 for this Friday the 13th. Plus, we'll give you a chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Pioneers play tomorrow night against Williams College. Davey, you're looking for caller number. Got a great question. You're looking for caller number what this morning?
Caller 8.
8th caller right now. Your chance at some really good money and some Pioneers tickets. Coming up, caller 8, 315-736-0186 at WIBX.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Start your savings at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Now through March 31st, get up to $180 back on a Bridgestone prepaid MasterCard. Get $80 when you buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires. Get an additional $100 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your Tallman's Tire CFNA credit card. Don't wait. These offers end March 31st. Visit Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, or online at tallmanstire.com.
Need a shower pan for your mobile home? John's Mobile Home Parts in Oriskany Falls has everything. Sick of stepping over your tub? Replace with a shower pan. They've got those too at John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories, Skyline Drive, Oriskany Falls, on Facebook or johnsmobilehomeparts.com.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Possibility starts with the right financial solutions. From AmeriQ Credit Union. Get started today at ameriq.org/possibility.
Snow and rain in the forecast, and maybe 6+ inches of snowfall easily in the North Country. Now, the winter weather advisory does now get into northern Oneida County, 11 o'clock this morning until 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, where there could be in excess of 6 inches of snow up near Boonville. Further south, it's occasional snow and rain today, near 40 degrees. Tonight, rain and snow showers over to all snow showers late, 29. So maybe a light accumulation in the morning on Saturday before the snow showers end, up to the mid-30s with a gusty breeze, making it feel like winter once again. And a chance of snow changing to rain Sunday. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stidgick, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Well, we have some sunshine out there. Kind of looks nice. It's only 25 at WIBX.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, we have a ton of comments to get to, and we will definitely get into all of that. Portions of the program brought to you by Steve Pawnee Mazda. Their new Mazda sales event is back. Save on a new Mazda lease. Enjoy low APR financing on selected 2026 Mazda models. See the dealership for details. They have increased their inventory as they wind down their New Year New Mazda sales event this month. And right now is a great time to enjoy the new Mazda 2026 Mazda with tremendous savings. As Rick says, come on down and let's make your deal on a brand new Mazda, where it's always easy to do business. Steve Pawnee Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Lori is on the line right now. She is in Newport, home of Mayor Mark Butler. Good morning, Lori. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Good. You know the deal here. You'll have 7 seconds to answer the question, and $313 is on the line. It comes from the Hobeika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika, at 315-724-1600 for all of your legal needs. Lori, are you able to go to the game if we give you a chance also to win tickets to the game?
I will not be able to go to the game.
Right. We'll give those away right after you, but let's try to give you the money. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here is your question. It comes from the category local history. Local history. And here's the question. James Dean of Connecticut was the first person to settle in this town in the Mohawk Valley. Where did he settle? Ready, go.
Waterville.
Boy, you are darn close. The answer is Westmoreland. The very first. The very.
I was going to say it was Deansboro.
Deansboro would have been a good one too. The very first settler in Westmoreland was a guy by the name of James Dean, who was given the land because he spoke perfect Oneida language, the Oneida language.
Are you sure it's because he wasn't mowing the property there for a couple years?
And he was mowing their lawn, mowing the lawn every day, and they're like, well, we're just going to give you the property. All right, I have Movieplex, and where can you give me that? Oh, it's up there, where I wanted it. Davey, thank you. I have passes for Glenwood Movieplex and the Rome Cinema 8 for you. So stand by. Davey's going to hook you up, Laurie, okay?
Okay.
All right,
you.
Thanks
Have
so
a great
much.
day.
Can I tell you a little bit about this, James Dean?
Yes.
So,
like Jimmy Dean, like sausages?
Kind of like. This is from my friend Dean, no pun intended. The first settler of Westmoreland was James Dean, born in Groton, Connecticut, August of 1748. He became a missionary to the Indians, and at age 12, he was sent to reside in the Susquehanna with Indians who were a branch of the Oneida tribe. He mastered the Oneida language, and the Oneida Indians said that he was the only white man who they ever knew could speak their language perfectly. And he did. He was a member of the first class to graduate from Dartmouth College, graduated just prior to the start of the Revolutionary War. He served as an agent for Indian Affairs, an interpreter for the Oneidas during the Revolutionary War. He is a famous man, or should be considered that, as the first settler and quite an instrumental person in the Revolutionary War for Westmoreland, New York.
And that first American settler, we mean, right?
Yes.
Or,
first American.
Or English or European, whatever.
Yeah. And he said, it's not Westmoreland, it's Westmoreland.
Mm.
That was his famous quote. I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't know which it is.
Well, I'm trying to remember his name. Davey might remember, but he would call up and say to us, right, it's not Westmoreland, it's not Westmoreland. It's
Westmoreland.
It's Westmoreland.
It's not Westmoreland.
Yeah. The emphasis on the more there part. Westmoreland.
We have a bunch of comments. Do you have anything over there you want to get into? I got a ton over here.
Let's see. Okay, Big Honey. James Dean technically settled in Hecla, New York, small hamlet in the town of Westmoreland.
The town of Westmoreland. Did not realize Hecla was a part of that.
Did not know that.
Did not know that. That was really good.
Lance says, as a Catholic boy, Jeff, you should know better. No meat on Friday. Oh, is this about the pastrami sandwich?
Yeah. Another reason why you shouldn't have the meat on Friday, although I am not Catholic. My wife, however, is, and so are my kids. Steve, did they put you on any medication? I am not on any additional medication. However, there's medication I can't take. One of the things you would think, anything that might cause bleeding, right? Advil or anything like that, you can't take that. Nick says, great sleep for sure. I'm telling you, that propofol is unbelievable. If you remember having a colonoscopy or going through a surgery before the propofol was used, it was completely different. A lot of people would get sick from the anesthesia, and it just didn't work the same way. This is like within 5 seconds of it coming through, and I could smell it or taste it a little bit coming in. Yeah. Because with the endoscopy, you have to have, there's a little piece they put in your mouth, and it's a little thing that keeps your mouth open because they're putting something down your throat. And I all I could remember was I was trying to swallow. You get that feeling where it's almost a claustrophobic feeling where you want to swallow, and I'm trying to swallow, and the nurse is like, "Don't fight it, just breathe it in."
Gone,
and really, really gone.
I remember when I got my wisdom teeth pulled that the assistant literally said to me, I think she said count backwards from 100, and I went like 99, 90, gone.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that stuff is.
Probably propofol, the same thing. I don't know why they gave you 100. They could have given you 2.
Yeah, they really could have.
Count backwards from 2.
Jeff, say your name.
Yeah. Yes. And you'd be gone. And it is quite interesting with the doctor's description of your polyps. At one point, you can tell he's a doctor because they just give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a nurse might kind of He's like, I got to tell you, there were a couple of these polyps that were giant and bleeding, and one had 3 heads. It was like, now I'm pretty sure that wasn't the propofol. I'm pretty sure he said that to me.
Okay.
But it could be. It could be the propofol. I don't know.
The potholes in the Utica, he's saying.
Thank you, Davey. Let's see. I wear a clean shirt every day. Nick apparently is bothered by the old man comment. Old person smell. Very true. They become unable or lazy and don't clean. I don't think I think the old person smell thing, if you're not taking care of yourself, then maybe you have such a thing. But, it's also, I do think that the smell that comes out of your body has a lot to do with what you put into it. If you eat certain things and you eat a lot of certain things, maybe you sweat a little garlic.
Garlic. I was just going to say that.
Maybe.
So
it's all possible.
I think that's partially true. I also do think there is something to the old person smell. There is, and I couldn't identify it. I couldn't name it or really describe it, but I feel like there is, if you walk into a home, a residence, there is an old person funk.
Well, part of it is because the thermostat's
There's a staleness.
Part of it's because the thermostat's at 80.
I guess so. So there's this extra sweat and moisture because you're always
I don't know. And a lot has to do with, are you letting, are your windows open? Are you cooking in there? Have you been doing it for 50 years? But there are, I would say that when I think about it, both of my grandparents, they both had a different smell that I remember. Not a bad smell, a good smell that I remember as a kid. And you'd go there, and I think it would be the types of food that were being cooked on a regular basis.
I think that
does play a role.
That could be it, yeah.
And whether or not they use mothballs.
I think that's part of it, too. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, there's one aunt and uncle that I'm thinking of that I never knew what that smell was until later in life, and I went, oh, that's mothball smell.
Yeah.
It was always lined because they had some neighbor had cats. They would line it around the outside of the house.
You can keep the mice kind of stay away from that, supposedly. I don't know if that's true or not, but they say that does work.
And then really quick, Joe says, I used to wake up with the old anesthesia when he's talking about the...
Oh, yeah. I have, I know someone, my parents were telling me about this, who did the colonoscopies with no anesthesia, was awake and watching it on the screen. I could not do that. Quick break, news coming up next.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ROAD to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ROAD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ROAD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
What does your welcome home look like? Is it a cozy corner or a wagging tail? The sound of kids playing in the yard or a friendly wave from the new neighbor? However you define it, let AmeriQ Credit Union help you make it happen. For more than 75 years, AmeriQ has helped your friends and neighbors finance the homes of their dreams. After all, there's no place like home. Let us help you finance yours. Apply today at ameriq.org/home. Membership eligibility is required. Insured by NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
80 years ago in Little Falls, a dream was built, one board at a time. Through hard work on
WIBX Utica Road, W295 From the WB Payne Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
A rescue mission continues in Iraq. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. For 2 service members still missing after a mid-air military plane collision.
Central Command says 4 out of the 6 crew members aboard a U.S. Air Force KC-135 refueling plane were killed following a mid-air collision in western Iraq. It also involved another KC-135. The other one managed to land in Israel. And the matter remains under investigation, although Central Command says the aircraft crashed not due to hostile fire or friendly fire.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson's in Dubai.
Here in the Persian Gulf, nearby in the Strait of Hormuz, it's been effectively shut by Iranian forces, say no tankers can go by.
As Iran keeps up the attacks today on Gulf countries like Saudi Arabia that house U.S. bases, President Trump posted early this morning on Truth Social, watch what happens to these deranged scumbags today. As we expect an update any minute now on Operation Epic Fury from the War Secretary, the president tells Fox's Brian Kilmeade.
We've already damaged them so badly, it would take years for them to ever rebuild. And we're going to be hitting them very hard over the next week.
That interview will air on the Brian Kilmeade radio show at 10 a.m. Eastern. The price of oil is down today as the Trump administration temporarily lifts sanctions on Russian oil currently stranded at sea, allowing countries to buy it. We're learning more about the now dead attacker at a synagogue near Detroit, Michigan. It was a naturalized U.S. citizen from Lebanon who'd recently had family members killed by Israeli airstrikes in the Iran conflict.
The attacker had a rifle and some sort of explosive device that ended up setting the truck on fire inside of the building. But before the suspect was able to do any more damage, on-site security guards shot him. Officials say one of those security guards was hit by the truck, knocked unconscious, but is expected to be okay.
Fox's Madison Scarpino outside the synagogue. In Virginia, ROTC students hailed as heroes for stopping a shooting spree at Old Dominion University, subduing and killing the convicted ISIS terrorist supporter who had killed an instructor and wounded 2 others. America's listening to Fox News.
So my friends over at Pure Talk have been sending me customer feedback from consumeraffairs.com, where thousands of people rate and review the top wireless providers. Here, for instance, is a nice note from James in Raleigh, North Carolina, who writes, quote, after hearing Mike Rowe's ad, we made the switch to Pure Talk, and we couldn't be happier. We went from spending $1,200 a year with T-Mobile to $420 with Pure Talk. Thanks, Mike. Switch today! Exclamation point. Pure Talk is saving James $820 a year. And because he literally wrote the words, switch today, in capital letters, with an exclamation point, I'm going to go ahead and dedicate this commercial to him. So folks, take it from James in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pure Talk can give you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month on the same 5G service the big guys are overcharging you for. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. You'll also save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 to save an additional 50%. Thanks, James.
As Operation Epic Fury continues a 14th day targeting Iran, Senate Democrats want to take action to prevent President Trump from going after Cuba next, though they have failed in prior attempts to limit the president in Venezuela and Iran.
Cuba's at the end of the line. They're very much at the end of the line.
President Trump saying he's looking forward to great change in Cuba at a Western Hemisphere summit last Saturday. A war powers resolution meant to give Congress a say before any military action in Cuba. It's been filed by Senate Democrats Ruben Gallego, Tim Kaine, and Adam Schiff. Only Congress has the power to declare war under the Constitution. But he, President Trump, operates with the belief that the U.S. military is a palace guard, ordering military action in the Caribbean, Venezuela, and Iran without Congress's authorization or any explanation for his actions to the American people. Chris Foster, Fox News.
Also at the Senate, another attempt to fund Homeland Security fails after the Republican and Democratic leaders sparred on the Senate floor.
Republicans are in obeisance to Donald Trump's insistence on having these marauding forces of ICE go through our cities.
Chuck Schumer's demanding immigration enforcement reforms at ICE and also Border Patrol. John Thune replied,
a continuing resolution would fund all the agencies to which you just alluded and allow us more time to negotiate.
But the vote failed, so most of Homeland Security remains unfunded. A 28th day, and essential workers have to keep working without pay. That includes TSA agents. DeAndre White is one of them at Washington's Reagan National Airport, and tells Fox,
I decided to show up, of course. It's challenging for everyone. With the support of my family, I'm able to, fortunately, attend my regular hours.
Now, other agents have not been able to do that and have not shown up, leading to hours-long security lines at some airports. On Wall Street, stock futures are rising up almost 200 points for the Dow, which in yesterday's sell-off plunged more than 700 points. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
We have some sunshine, 26 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. We have a winter weather advisory for northern Oneida County taking effect later today and lasting until tomorrow. Northern Herkimer County has a winter storm warning in effect from 11 this morning until 2 tomorrow afternoon. We'll take a closer look at your forecast coming up in just a few minutes. A few benefit events planned this weekend for the first responders still recovering from the explosion at Abundant Life Fellowship Church in Boonville last month. Tonight, a fundraiser is happening at Station 233 in Westmoreland. The Dusty Puppies will be playing there from 7 until 10. A fundraising bowling tournament is happening on Saturday and Sunday at the Boonville Bowling Alley. And on Sunday at the Elks Club from 1 to 6, there will be live entertainment. And again, raising funds for those still recovering from the explosion. That church was obliterated by a gas explosion, severely injuring 4 firefighters and the church pastor. The St. Patrick's Day Parade in Utica steps off on Genesee Street tomorrow morning at 10. A reminder for parade goers, Aterino Construction and the Parade Committee are once again collecting non-perishable food items to benefit Mother Mary Ann's West Side Kitchen. Court documents revealing some more information about the man found with a gun on the Syracuse University campus. That suspect, 22-year-old Mateo Haley Pereira, told police he purchased the rifle in the event that he was detained by U.S. ICE officials. Haley Pereira, who is a dual citizen of the United States and Spain, was planning to shoot an ICE agent as a last resort if they came to his home in Ithaca. He's currently charged with criminal possession of a weapon. And the Madison County Sheriff Todd Hood joining a nationwide public safety campaign led by the National Sheriff's Association, looking to strengthen public awareness about fraud and scams. As part of the initiative, Hood joined more than a dozen sheriffs nationwide to record public service announcements that are now being distributed. Officials say criminal networks are using phone calls, text messages, social media, and fraudulent ads online to deceive Americans, often posing as law enforcement, legitimate businesses, or people that victims can trust. Now, Americans see an estimated $15 billion worth of fraudulent ads online every day. And last year, consumers lost a total of $12.5 billion nationwide to such frauds and scams. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:08. Here's a look at your Weather Center forecast.
Snow and rain in the forecast, and maybe 6+ inches of snowfall easily in the North Country. Now, the winter weather advisory does now get into northern Oneida County, 11 o'clock this morning until 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, where there could be in excess of 6 inches of snow up near Boonville. Further south, it's occasional snow and rain today near 40 degrees. Tonight, rain and snow showers over to all snow showers late 29. So maybe a light accumulation in the morning on Saturday before the snow showers end, up to the mid-30s with a gusty breeze, making it feel like winter once again. And a chance of snow changing to rain Sunday. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stidgick, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Some sunshine, 26 degrees at 8:09. All right, in sports, Syracuse University has a new athletic director. The official word coming yesterday. Brian Blair has been selected to take over for John Wildhack, who said a few weeks ago he would leave after a decade at the post. Blair has been the vice president and athletics director at the University of Toledo since 2022. In a statement, Blair promised to build a modern athletics enterprise at Syracuse and said the best days of FSU sports are still ahead. Some NFL news. The Giants adding another option on offense. Wide receiver Calvin Austin signing with the G-Men 1 year, $4.5 million. Last season he was with the Steelers and had 3 touchdowns and 31 catches. Falcons edge rusher James Pierce facing felony charges from last month's incident involving WNBA player Rickea Jackson. Miami-Dade authorities say the 22-year-old has been charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, fleeing from police, and resisting an officer with violence. Police say that Pierce rammed his car into Jackson's after he made threats against her. The 49ers bringing back a familiar face on defense. Linebacker Dre Greenlaw signs to a one-year deal worth up to $7.5 million. He played with the Niners from 2019 through 2024. Local hockey action going on. It's the Division III Men's National Championship Tournament, and the Utica Pioneers are at home tomorrow night at the Adirondack Bank Center. The puck set to drop at 7 o'clock as they take on Williams. Meanwhile, Hamilton men's hockey is in the D3 National Championship Tournament as well. They're at home tomorrow, taking on a familiar foe of the Pioneers as they will battle Newman. That's also Newman. That's a 7 o'clock start tomorrow night at.
I never watched Seinfeld
at Hamilton,
but I do know the way he said Newman. I don't do a really good job of it.
Neither did I.
But it is like with disgust.
Hello, Newman.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Russell Sage Rink in Clinton. Both games tomorrow night starting at 7.
Okay.
Big time.
We will give away this hour tickets to see the Pioneers play at the Adirondack Bank Center tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. It's Utica versus Williams College. Williams University, it is.
The Adirondack Bank Center last weekend, if I were to guess, ballpark, guesstimate, I would say it was like 70% full.
Yeah.
But there was a ton of energy in there.
Yeah.
Like it was, the place was rocking. And I'll tell you, I can't remember, I can remember, but it's been, it doesn't often get that rowdy in there in a positive way. It was all
rowdy.
positive, but it was a lot of like, and everybody had their orange towels going. Like it was a scene.
The fact that Utica had lost 2 previous games in about 30 days to Geneseo, I think added to the drama. And that was once you get down, I do think there's an element of when they first go in, because Geneseo will get like 50 people at a game. My wife went to school there. She's like, maybe 90 people, whatever. Nothing like this. So when you walk into that atmosphere, you're like, holy crap. Yeah. And I would think that has a benefit to not only Utica, but also to the opponent. Or unless you're intimidated, and I just don't see that. However, when you begin to get down and the fans are screaming horrible things to you, I think it can have an effect.
Yeah.
An interestingly negative effect. It's kind of like when they would all yell at Tony Pacini during COVID, when they would call up and leave on his voicemail. Remember those days? They would say terrible things to you.
I can't forget.
You have those saved?
I think we
make some promos out of those.
Saved a couple of them.
Make some promos out of those.
Yeah, you can't. You'd get banned.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You would get banned.
They'd be a lot of bleeps in there.
I should not do this because I'm not prepared, and it's going to sound like I'm searching for something while I'm on the air. Which I am.
As you are searching for something while on the air.
But I'm pretty sure somewhere I have. Let me take a break and we'll come back with the county executive. I think I have a few of those voicemails.
Really?
Because I think I did a song about it at one point.
Might have.
They were calling you the worst of names. How could you shut this down? And most of it was you were just reacting to what the state was doing.
Well, right. The state was putting policies
we were
in.
doing what we were told to do.
Right.
Through the health department.
All right, we have a lot to get into, a lot to talk about. County Executive Anthony Pacini, you have any questions? 315-736-0186. We'll come right back.
We're your neighbors, friends, and your family. We care about our community, your business, and most important, you.
We support charities like the United Way, McMahon Ryan Child Advocacy Center, who are the members of IBEW Local 43 and NECA Contractors. You don't just see our work, you live it. From the JMA Wireless Dome, hospitals, schools, and city buildings, the IBEW is part of the community.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Start your savings at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Now through March 31st, get up to $170 back on a Firestone prepaid MasterCard. Get up to $70 when you buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires. Get an additional $100 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your Tallman's Tire CFNA credit card. Don't wait. These offers end March 31st. Visit Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, or online at tallmanstire.com.
Warner Sales and Service, building relationships, building trust.
This is Lynn from Warner Sales and Service. Mow like a pro with Hustler Turf zero-turn mowers. Hustler mowers are designed to be maintenance and service-friendly for the everyday homeowner while not sacrificing the build and cut quality they're known for. Come see us at Warner Sales and Service on the Greenway New London Road in Rome, and we'll guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ROAD to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ROAD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ROAD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hi, this is Ray Durso of the Genesis Group. If you're interested in keeping up with events and news in the Mohawk Valley region, I have the show for you. It's called This Week in the Mohawk Valley, and it airs every Sunday on WIBX. Join us as we talk with area business leaders, elected officials, law enforcement, educators, and more. Don't miss This Week in the Mohawk Valley every Sunday at 9 a.m. on WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM.
Celebrating 100 years. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Good morning, and in studio right now is the County Executive Anthony Pacini. And good morning, County Executive.
Again.
All right, we're going to start, if we could, with something we were talking about the other day, and that is the issue of ambulances backed up at Wynn. Now, this is not an all-the-time problem, but there are peak times where all of a sudden...
There are.
And they can't get them out of the ambulance to get into the emergency room. Now, when we had officials on earlier in the week from Wynn, they are correct. This is because I've personally seen it. This is a national problem, and it's even worse outside our area.
It is, and you know, I had the county execs meeting a while back in which we talk about different topics, that are impacting us, and this was one of those that came up. Regarding it's twofold. Obviously, it's the backups in the emergency rooms, and that's why I tell people, if you think it's only wind, you're wrong.
Right.
And I think you said that yourself yesterday or the day before, whatever it was, about Syracuse and others. And so
upstate was
and
chaos. I couldn't even believe it.
Talked to county executives that I work with from Monroe and Erie and Westchester and bigger counties than us with multiple hospital systems, and they're facing that, and then the other piece that I think falls on us.
The bigger thing is
the ambulances themselves.
Yeah.
The amount of ambulances we have and the amount of workers that they have in those.
So I think there's and again, this is just all anecdotal, but I do think ambulances being able to hire people and hospitals being able to hire people. I think everybody's got a hiring problem today.
And ambulances, depending on, they look at, because I think there are 14 actual providers, ambulance services, if you count, obviously counting the city of Utica, but if you count the surrounding, the county itself and some of the outlying areas that, they cover as well, like in the North Country and to the west, and even, on the Sherrill side and into Madison County as well. And, now that seems like a lot, but that's not really when you look at the territory they have to cover and the amount of people they have to do. And this is, again, another 24/7 job in which they need, to survive as a business too, they need to be active 24/7, and they're having difficulty doing that.
I will also tell you that when you say the large area they have to cover, so it's not just Oneida, Little Falls, Utica, Rome.
No.
You have Cooperstown, you have Syracuse as well. If it's a high trauma situation, when we were sitting there for hours at the ER at Upstate, there were several ambulances that were from our area sitting there.
Sure. Well, and what happens, and they will tell you the same thing, that whether they have to transport a patient to Albany, to Syracuse, to wherever, that takes a rig out of service
for hours,
7-8 hours at minimum, because the drive time, the especially like in Albany or somewhere like that, the drive time, but even to Syracuse, even into Rochester, and they do that. So, that time away and shutting down and taking a rig out of service completely, causes backup. There are different times, and I know you had Dr. Gary Zimmer on this week and others. Mondays are always, we see it, all the time. Mondays are a big time because a lot of people wait the weekend. Go in the emergency room on a Monday, and then you have the whole slew of people that really are not emergency room.
That are tying up an ambulance.
What's the word I'm looking for?
They really don't qualify for that.
Right? Or could go to an urgent care or whatever. The other problem is we need better urgent care facilities and more of them.
Yeah.
So I think it's twofold. I don't think or multiple. I think it's more than twofold. I think it's multiple issues, but it's not unique as much as people want to point to. Well, it's because there's one hospital. It's not. And I'll get criticized for defending that, but that's not what it is. And people say, well, Rome is different. Well, not always. They have their moments too. There was a couple. It was about a month or so ago. It was around, maybe November, December. I remember getting a call because we do all the EMS. We have the EMS coordinators on our end, and 3 hospitals were on diversion. That all at once.
Yeah.
So
where do you go?
It's a problem.
Yeah.
But it's something that is touches a lot of different areas, and we just got to try to figure out how we do it. I'm very concerned about the ambulance corps itself and the ability to provide enough services in that. And then there's reimbursements, and then there's ambulances that they're struggling because they're not getting paid at times. There's a bill that moved through the legislature last year that kind of expedited, the payment process on that. But the reimbursement rates are totally different.
Right,
Medicare
right.
is like up here. It's like, I forgot what the Medicare, and I'm going to be wrong, but I'm in the ballpark. I think Medicare rate for a transport is somewhere in the $480, we'll say. Medicaid is like 200 and something.
Right.
And if you do the math on that in terms of, the workers, the equipment, the gas, all of the service, and then the hours that they're tied up.
It's a losing.
It's a losing proposition.
Yeah, and those vehicles, by the way, when you say that one of them will be out for 8 hours, and how much revenue, I guess, do you make when you're sitting in an ER? Those are like highly equipped, technologically life-saving machines, the ambulances.
Yeah.
So my point being, it's not like buying a new vehicle where you lease something and it's $500 a month. Those have very high-level life-saving ability in them.
Sure.
So as far as the equipment goes.
Somebody asking, do the various local hospitals have an agreement that if one ER is overwhelmed, the ambulance can go to another one that isn't packed?
If they go, if they determine they're on diversion,
okay.
There's a diversion
Sometimes
status.
people request a hospital to go to.
There's a status that'll go through the EMS system that'll notify us on our dispatch, especially at 911, that whether it's WIN is on diversion. So that means if you've got emergency cases, you're going to Rome, you're going to Oneida.
Boy, it's got to be slowing down. I mean, especially when time is of the essence. Stroke victim, for instance, the one case that was talked about the other day is they could not get an ambulance for a stroke victim in Utica.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah,
I heard that.
Yeah.
So
something that was brought up earlier this week, I don't remember exactly who said it, but we've heard stories about this before, that sometimes people will call for care, say that they're having some type of a medical emergency, they'd like to go to the hospital, they get downtown and they go, thanks for the ride.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of those. I mean, I think, the other point, though, is that, when they call and they request it and they tell them they're sick enough, they can't get there, they're really not that sick to go there either. That goes back to the quality of, whether they qualify, as we said, for emergency rooms. I'm assuming that could happen. And look, the ambulance services will know. I mean, if Jeff Manaski is a frequent flyer, right. I mean, we're going to be a little more.
Yeah.
I mean, then do I want to go there again and have to go through that? So
I just wonder though. Like, I feel like it's.
I'm not saying they're denying him. So let me be clear on that.
That's what I mean. I wonder
before
at what
people
point,
call and yell at me.
At what point can you say, Bill Keeler calls every Thursday night for a ride down there to get to get a free ride downtown? It'd be like somebody calling and saying, somebody's trying to break into my house, and after 5 times you go, well, I'm not going anymore, and then the 6th time someone's trying to break into the house.
You can't do that. I mean, so they're not refusing. I mean, I'm just saying that is.
And it's not like you can say because you're dealing with a lot of mental illness here. It's not like you can say to that person, well, you're going to pay. Now we're going to bill you. Well, bill them, and we're going to ultimately be paying for it because we're already paying for them to begin with. So
a lot of moving parts there.
But
we have a meeting. Billy, we meet, and Wynn has been very good about this, and the other.
They said they made changes recently to their process.
Right, they have been, and we're having a meeting. They're having a meeting, which we go to with the EMS network next Friday, week from today.
All right.
A couple comments here. Lance says $200 for an ambulance ride doesn't nearly cover the cost. And Joe says, as a question, did we have this issue when there were still 2 hospitals?
Yes.
That this was occasionally happened where they both get jammed up.
Absolutely. Because look, you have more rooms in Wynn than you had in the emergency rooms in the other 2. And so, you've got a bigger capacity to deal with too. And there's workforce issues all the way around.
The problem too is we did not have these problems before COVID. Even though there were problems, the number of open jobs is just staggering.
Yeah, the hospitals are still utilizing traveling nurses.
Yeah.
I mean, which is a big expense and tough, and it says a lot about You never heard that phrase.
Not only
before.
an expense,
Never
but
heard that phrase before.
It causes tension.
It does.
Because somebody making $150 an hour, and then somebody
the person who's there every day is not making that.
Tom is on in Verona with a question for the county executive. Tom, good morning. You're on with Tony Paceni.
Thank you. I have a question for the county executive concerning the recent bed tax law that was passed for short-term rentals. I've had a short-term rental for 3 years. I contacted Anthony Carvelli 3 years ago asking if I had to pay a bed tax. He said I did. He sent me a form to fill out, and for the last 3 years I paid $2,300 in bed tax. Lo and behold, I find out that there was no law in place what I've written Anthony Carvelli, and I've also sent a letter to the county executive that I hadn't gotten a response from. But they told me that they couldn't tell me why I was being charged a bed tax for my short-term rental, but they could tell me that they were unable to give me a refund of any type. And so my question to him is, can you tell me, or maybe you can check with Mr. Carvelli, why I was told I had to pay a bed tax for the last 3 years for my short-term rental?
Well,
watch this.
Sorry about that.
Yep.
Sorry about that. I am aware of this situation, and I know that that you are not alone. There have been others that have done that, and the issue though is, that tax is paid to the state of New York and first, and before it comes back our way. So why don't we have a conversation offline later, either later today, and we can get Mr. Carvelli in and do that. I'll have Davey get your number, and we can talk a little bit more.
I would appreciate that.
All right, Tom.
No
I'm gonna put you on hold, and Davey's gonna pick you up. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much.
How, when you say you're aware of this particular case, or this has happened multiple?
It's happened before, but
yeah.
There is a question of whether or not you are even with the short-term rentals, whether or not you've been doing it on a regular basis, and so there has been issues. Not just here, but in other parts of the state and other counties in which, whether you're considered a short-term renter or whether you're considered like a bed and breakfast or something that is, an ongoing kind of thing. But then, the tax doesn't come back to you, though. You charge those individuals the tax, and that's the difference here. In terms of, so you're charged as the user.
Yeah.
The tax.
Not the owner of the property. Right. Okay. So, and it sounds like maybe what he's saying is his issue is that he didn't, I guess, for a while didn't know that he was supposed to be charging a sales tax. So then it does come out of his pocket.
Charging it before that the recent law went into effect.
He was charging it or had to pay it?
He was both.
Yeah. Okay.
Both.
I want to talk about your announcement this week. Oneida County enhances 911 operations with 2 new public safety technology systems.
Sure.
What's happening here?
So 2 things with that. The first one is the 911 system. You dial 911, you get a dispatcher. Immediately they're working with you to get you what you need, on emergency situations. We still have that come into the 911 system, what we always refer to as the 7 digits, but now the 10-digit numbers for like Utica Police. I mean, there are still people that call UPD directly. And if it's an emergency, obviously it's a 911 call. What we're doing with a little, and talking a little bit about AI here, because it's a system in which if you call that 7 or 10-digit number, whether it's Rome Police or whether it's Utica Police or whether it's the sheriff's office or whatever, that still goes to 911. But the system will pick up because a lot of people call for other issues, like, where do I pay this parking ticket?
Right.
That's not a 911.
Right.
Not a 911 call. So what will happen is if you call for something other than an emergency and you begin talking about that, about when's my road getting plowed? When's my garbage getting picked up? Or where do I go to, where's city court located, et cetera, et cetera. If it's anything that is not pertaining, it'll decipher that and direct you to the right caller. So it's
okay.
not.
So it'll.
It's not an auto. It's automated to the point of finding out the information of what you want.
Okay.
Now, if at any time in that call they pick up an emergency word, like fire, burglary, accident,
it's automatically going to.
It stops the call. It shifts right over to 911.
All right.
So it's designed to kind of filter through the calls that are not emergencies and have that dealt with, so that we're not tying up our dispatchers. So that's the first one.
Okay, and the second?
The second one is, we have had texting at 911 for a number of years. We were one of the first counties that did it several years ago, that you could text 911 with an emergency. What we're also doing now is, or what we have the capability now is, if you are at a scene of some kind of fire, like we talked about, if your neighbor's house is on fire and you're calling in from your cell phone, with your permission, and only with your permission, we can access your camera on that.
Oh, okay.
So that you can
show it.
Interesting. And at that point, we can see it and relay that to the fire department,
giving them an idea of
what they're coming upon. Same goes for an accident. If you're in an accident yourself, or if you come upon one, and you take that, we can do that to law enforcement so that they can see exactly what you got. It's not. We don't get access to your phone.
Beyond time.
And it's recorded that you gave us permission. To do that. If you don't, you don't have to.
I saw a demonstration of the AI, a new version of AI that takes phone calls like what we're talking about here. I can't believe how real it seems.
It does.
Yeah, it's so much better than it was.
We actually had our first meeting of the AI task force yesterday, in which I put a group together to really look at and kind of interesting that comes upon the 911 thing we just put in place, but more importantly, looking at ways in which government can be more effective, but also protective in the community, so you're not seeing things that are not real.
Martin has a question for you. Martin, you're on with the county executive.
Hey, Anthony. This is Martin. I remember seeing you at St. Peter's and at St. John's and all the time, but lately I've been going to different masses. I go to the 10:30 mass, St. Peter's. But anyway, hey, I was wondering about the at the old airport. There's it's like a office building. It's a real long one, and it has on it that this is part of Natick County, and it has these lights on it continually. Every time I go by it, late at night. I walk with my dog, and it's always on, except for on Saturdays or Sundays. Well, maybe not so much Saturdays, but every Sunday it has lights off, and it's got hundreds of lights on it. It's got 2 floors to it, and it's like it's lit up completely. It's really lit up. Is there a reason for that building? And it also has these meters on it for people that have the special types of vehicles that have the ports on them that you can charge up.
Yeah, electric
chargers.
20 of them.
You said it's at the old. Said it's the old airport in Oriskany.
Yeah.
That is no longer operated by Oneida County. That is the state's Homeland Security Training Center. So it's very likely if they are, I mean, they usually do 7 days of different training with different law enforcement from around the state and Northeast. So it could be, and they're just operating, but they do a lot of training up there. So I'm assuming that's what you're seeing, but it's not ours anymore. We sold that about 10 years ago.
Okay. It never has lights. It never has cars in it, though. There's like 2 cars.
Yeah, but what he's saying is that you got to call the state.
Yeah, it's really a state. I mean, I don't know why they're lighting it up all weekend long, but
all right,
it's not ours. So we're not.
Martin. Thank you. Call. I believe that would be Hochul, 1-800-Kathy Hochul.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. All right, so we've hit that. We hit the win. Anything else you want to get on?
I don't know what else. What else is?
Can't you? The thing that always angers me most is you've not been able to figure out how to control the weather. We have St. Patrick's Day parade tomorrow. It's going to be. I mean, it could be worse.
I suppose.
It could be much worse.
But you looked at the last, coming into this, the last 2 weekends, as the weather was breaking, especially last weekend, you're like, wow, 60 degrees. I mean, next week's going to be great.
That's the first thing I thought was like the St. Patrick's parade is going to be.
But it's not.
And then they're going to get.
So it's going to be cold. So are you guys doing it?
We'll be there.
Going to be there.
Yeah.
So I got to bundle up extra.
Davey will definitely be there.
Extra heavy.
Quick question.
Gotta wear that hat, Davey.
And I don't know what exactly this refers to, but Matt asks, when will Oneida County consider doing something with the high tax on fuel to save residents some money? It's getting to the point between electric prices and gas prices, I can't even afford a pizza anymore. Does the county have a tax on?
They do. I mean, well, it's the normal sales tax. Years ago we did cap it at a certain level, but it did nothing for the prices. And that's where I got into a kind of a dispute with some of the local distributors, because we had and actually my predecessor Joe Griffo, when he was county executive,
remember this.
He did it. I did it, and then we reached a point in which we said, okay, we were capping it at up to $2, that we would not tax above $2.
Right.
And to try to alleviate. Yet our gas prices were still higher, or as high as other counties around us that didn't cap.
Right. So instead of paying the money to the county, it was just going in.
Yeah. So I mean,
pockets.
there's a dispute, or not a dispute. There's an explanation that I can't give because I don't understand it, quite frankly, because you can look around and travel around now. The gas prices are different everywhere.
Yeah. I've seen anywhere from I guess it's changed in the last couple of days, but I mean, on Monday and Tuesday, I think I was seeing $2.89 all the way up to $3.49.
Right. Well, I saw it's $3.59.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry. What did I say?
$3.59.
$2.89 to $3. Right. Yeah.
$3.59 and above. I've seen some $3.62 in some other places.
Yeah.
And within blocks of each other.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I just have never been able to understand that process.
And the longer this all goes on, depending on how long this happens, it's going to get higher. And even
did you see California? I mean, they're showing
like $9,
$8 something a gallon. I mean,
yet the AAA says their average price is like $5.80 in California. But you do see that when you're in New York, certain places in New York City, you're going to see $6-7 when gas prices are low. But even $5-6 a gallon is high. But they also have 99 cents, I think, right off the bat of a state tax on gasoline.
Because there's it's a different formula on the tax, and then you add the sales tax to it.
So and again, the other part is by releasing the reserves. That will last for a few days.
Right.
Maybe we'll see a week's worth of relief, but ultimately there's only so much of that we can release.
But it's really interesting how quickly it rose. Because up until a week or two ago, it was we were at $3, $3.01, somewhere in there. I mean, and you had some that were even $2.99, like you said, or whatever, and then wow, boom, right to
one day, 30 cents, boom.
It goes fast.
It doesn't come down at 30 cents a day. It does not come down 30 cents a day.
Anything else? One other thing that somebody had asked, and it goes back to the hospital, having a competing ER, just a separate ER or a second ER at like St. Luke's or somewhere else, or maybe kind of what you were, which by the way, I know how you'll answer this, and we also have to figure out to make sure that the win remains competitive. If all of a sudden we put them under, now we have two different companies that are getting crushed. But for that question, and then the other part, doesn't that really go back to WellCare and those types of places that could expand and do more in the area if we had more of the...
Yeah, if we had more, I mean, I think, the urgent care piece, but it's got to be extended. They can't close at 9 o'clock at night or at 8 or not be open a full day on the weekend or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, depending on what they're doing. But, to
utilize... then the only place to go
to utilize,
is the ER.
Right, to utilize, the old hospitals, that makes no sense. And you just can't do a standalone ER somewhere. That should be an urgent care facility.
Yeah.
But it's also, the other thing is we tried, we've attempted different things on 911 with Nurse Navigator to try to, direct people not to have to go because, I've got a cold, I've got a fever, those kind of things that are not emergency room ready or whatever, So, I just think, I think, this will, work itself through, but it's a bigger, again, it is a bigger issue than just here.
It's like a kerplunk game. There are so many different, everything from, middle class people who are struggling, don't necessarily want to go to the ER, but yet you have somebody who's on services and they're using it for everything. But there are so many different aspects of this. It is not a simple problem to solve.
But it doesn't seem. And it's always the case that when there is a problem, that gets amplified more than the. I've had many people, and I'm sure you have, and others, that great experience with, depending on what they had to deal with in the emergency rooms.
Well, and the other part you have to remember is at an emergency room, if you're going in with a cut finger and you have 2 patients ahead with a stroke and 2 heart attacks, you are going to sit. Well, they're getting in first,
and there's there's the overall, the size of things too. I was literally in the emergency room 2 Saturdays ago with my father-in-law who was there. I had to bring in there. In Rome, room was packed. 2 ambulances outside and waiting. So the scale of things. And that was a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah,
So it's. There are those times. That there are the peaks and valleys of those things, but it is a reality that do you build another hospital? That's not the answer.
Right.
I think you have to remember too with the urgent cares, there were at least 2 urgent care facilities in Utica and the surrounding areas. Then one bought the other one out. And you have the same situation like we talked with the ambulance. You got to have an X-ray tech on. Sure.
But
you're going to be open from 8 p.m. till 6 a.m. and nobody comes in. You're just wasting that money.
That's exactly the problem. So you're still a business, and you're trying to figure out how do we survive. And by having 5 ambulances sitting there 90% of the week, and only used during a peak time, and people there. It becomes a business problem.
Well, and what's the other thing that everybody? You go to a doctor. You want to see the doctor, right? You go to an emergency room. You expect to see a doctor. How many? There's just so many of them to go around to
I
be
think
able
that's
to deal
part
with
of
that
the major.
too.
That's part of the major problem with the backup is there's not a physician for people. The physicians can only see so many people at a time,
right?
That creates a whole new problem.
But is that necessary for someone with a with a cut finger, with, something that is not, life-threatening?
I don't know about anybody else, but I've had doctors say, well, you're going to have to go to the ER. And me and my wife are like, let's wait it out another 24 hours.
Yeah, we'll go home and see how we feel.
Let's see what happens.
Maybe some soup and a coffee will make me feel better.
I think actually, I'm starting to feel better right now. County Executive, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Always,
we'll see you at the parade.
Happy St. Patrick's. Happy St. Joseph's.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. All right.
Let me bring in Joe Benson. Utica Comets are red hot right now. I haven't said that in a long time. I just wanted to say it.
Yeah.
It's true.
They are, though. Yeah.
Joe Benson, good morning.
Morning, guys.
Yeah, it's good to say that, I got to say.
Yeah, no, it's been good. We a big win the other night in Rochester. Obviously, that's the team we're trying to catch in the standings, so that was huge. They're talking about struggling. They've lost 9 in a row, so they're struggling big time right now. But yeah, Comets 6 points behind them now, so we need essentially 3 games back. We have played 2 more games than Rochester has, so we got to hope they lose those games that they have in hand on us. But yeah, big weekend coming up. Obviously, we got our St. Patty's Day game tonight against Laval. We'll be in Springfield tomorrow, and yeah, big couple games here coming up. So.
Listen, I don't want to jinx anybody by any means, but about a month ago I said, yeah, they're playing a little bit better. I mean, what are the chances that we actually make a playoff game? And your answer to me was, well, listen, we've got, 18 points. It's a long way to go. It's going to be a tough task to even start talking about that. But I kind of feel like we're talking about that now. I mean, it's still a long shot, but it's possible, right?
It's definitely possible. I mean, if we win 3 more and Rochester loses their next 3, we're tied with them and for that 5th and final playoff spot, where we can leapfrog Belleville if we win tonight. We're just 1 point behind them. So yeah, I mean, it's been an impressive little stretch here as of late.
Well, let's keep it going. All right, quickly. I know there's a lot of college hockey going on. When do we see the Comets of the Odd? Is it tonight? They play tonight at the Adirondack Bank Center.
Yep, tonight it's our St. Patrick's Day theme game, so that'll be a lot of fun. Specialty green, pretty much everything green. Green jerseys, green dasher boards, green beer. So it'll be that'll be a lot of fun. Should be a good crowd. Should be a good game. So.
All right. Some tickets still available. You can check that out as well. And I'm assuming game time 7 p.m. tonight.
Yep.
All right, Joe. We appreciate it. Thank you, man. Go Comets.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Yeah, they will take on the Laval Rocket tonight, who are leading the North Division with 77 points. So,
out of nowhere, this team starts to play really well. It makes you think, kind of like last year. Boy, have they had a even half as just a little bit better than what they ended up performing in the beginning to start things off. They'd be in a different place right now. Quick break. A local author, Angelina Scripter, is a local author doing a book signing this weekend. We're going to speak with her as we make our way out into the weekend. Coming up, and I have tickets to give away for the Pioneers game tomorrow night. We'll do that next on WIBX.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. If you're nearing retirement, stop what you're doing and listen, because what's unfolding right now could hit your 401k or IRA harder than anything we've seen in years. Military escalation across the Middle East, a tariff war spilling into the courts, the U.S. dollar facing pressure that historically signals one thing: a flight to safety. Smart money has been moving into gold and silver, and it's not slowing down. Call Advantage Gold right now at 800-900-8000 and get your free gold investment kit, plus a free copy of economist Ken Rogoff's eye-opening book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. Thousands of Americans have already rolled over a portion of their retirement savings into physical gold and silver, completely tax and penalty-free through Advantage Gold. The next news cycle won't wait for you. Get into position now. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Results vary. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team. Whitesboro is a leading school system in central New York with 7 schools, 3,100 students, and holding a 92% graduation rate. You can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Perfect for retirees with extra time. Help drive our future leaders with Whitesboro Central School Transportation. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
The Potting Shed Antiques in Whitesboro is buying silver, gold, gold-filled, vintage costume, estate jewelry, and U.S. and Canadian coins. They've been your hometown buyer for over 50 years. While other gold and silver buyers claim to offer the highest prices, the Potting Shed Antiques actually delivers. Let Don Hartman take a look at your individual pieces or your entire collection. The Potting Shed Antiques, open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Please call ahead for an appointment. Visit thepottingshedantiques.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Don't get me started on that. All right, a couple things. Portions of the program brought to you by the Good Feet Store. You know you're having issues with your back and your hips, your legs, your feet. It could all be coming from your feet and the way you walk. You can walk in, get a free fitting and test walk. No appointment is needed. Enter the Good Feet Store. Everything is made in the USA, and these are inserts you put in your current shoes, or you can get new shoes from the Good Feet Store. Call today at 315-999-3910, or you can just walk in the Good Feet Store, Commercial Drive in New Hartford. And in Sarah's Flooring Outlet. We just recently purchased a whole bunch of tile from Sarah's. And you get so many different options, whether you want something traditional like, I don't know, subway tile, black and white subway tile, or you want something unique, something that really stands out, something that not everybody in your neighborhood has. You can find it all at Sarah's. Remnants, great prices. Carpet, great reduction prices. Hardwoods, in some cases up to 50% off. See why people buy from the big store. It's in Sarah's Flooring Outlet. Route 49, Plaza River Road, Marcy, and in sarahsflooringoutlet.com. In studio right now is Angelina Scripter. She has been here with us before and is with us now here this morning. Angelina, good morning.
Good morning.
Nice and really tight on that microphone. So
Thank
tell
you.
us about you. The last time you were in, it was Trees of Fate.
Yes.
Which is available right now. You're an author, and the new book is Broken Mirrors. Talk about that.
So Trees of Fate is my young adult dystopian romance novel, and Broken Mirrors is my second poetry book. So I had published Roses and Thorns 100 Poems for Life, which was my first poetry book fresh out of high school. And I really wanted it to embody the life stories around us. And so Broken Mirrors is the continuation of that in a broader scheme, because I want to connect with everyone as I continue to grow as an author and as I witness the different stories around me. So Broken Mirrors is the first poetry book in what I call my 100 Poems collection.
Okay.
Yes.
A collection, and that's all your works?
Yes.
Over 100 poems.
There'll be
My
100
goodness.
poems in each book, and Broken Mirrors is the start of that.
That's a lot of poems.
I went to my wife once and I said, I have 5 beautiful poems. Her answer to me, those aren't poems.
Too long, too short, didn't rhyme, didn't make sense.
She thinks I stole them from the greeting cards. And I think she may be right. But still, I mean, that's a great gesture. I mean, what am I saying about Hallmark? What a great job they do. Do you feel your poems have evolved since, I'm sure they have, since high school?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Explain how that has happened.
I really just tried to expand upon what poetry means to me, where the initial thought is always that it connects to emotion. And it's through emotion telling whatever you're experiencing, witnessing. And Broken Mirrors, I actually have a number of poems that I like to call cautionary tales in verse, where it's very short, poetic tidbits that will just explore some part of life. They are warning you against something, or just the cautioning of, if you go through life this way, it might end up this way.
Can you give us an example?
I can.
Okay.
They say that heroes never die, that their dreams go on and on, but at this point, I'm wondering if their stories are all wrong.
And what inspired you for that?
That particular poem?
Yeah.
Again, just seeing the stories around me and raising questions about it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that throughout this
Yeah,
book.
yeah. And I'm assuming you're guided by what may happen to you in your personal life, what's happening. You're from New Hartford, so what happens in your own community. But then beyond, the world is so small because we see everything that happens.
Yes, that's exactly it. A lot of it was growing up, how I was just... So initially, Roses and Thorns was the story of my adolescent and teenage years, what I was witnessing and what I was feeling. And now Broken Mirrors is expanding upon that, where it is that and the stories that I'm seeing around me now as a young adult. and, being online, going through different parts of life, everything that everyone else is experiencing around me, trying to put that into poetry as well.
All right. As we said, these are both available right now.
Yes.
And you have a book signing. When is that?
So I actually have multiple book signings coming up. The first are kicking off right with this weekend at Barnes & Noble right after the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Okay.
It'll be tomorrow from 12 to 4 and Sunday from 1 to 5. I'll be in the Barnes & Noble for a while. And then I'll actually be expanding to the slightly broader local area because Saturday, March 21st from 2 to 4, I'll be in the DeWitt Barnes & Noble for a multi-author signing event, and the 28th in the Liverpool and Clay Barnes & Noble as well.
All right. Well, good luck. We really appreciate it. We'll look for you, obviously, online as well.
Yes. And the last time...
I'm out of time.
I'm sorry.
Do this. It's going to steal it from us right now.
From the WB Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
An update on Operation Epic Fury, Day 14. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We're going up. They're going down.
And War Secretary Pete Hegseth just said this will be the most intense day of strikes on Iran yet.
We're on plan to defeat, destroy, disable all of their meaningful military capabilities at a pace the world has never seen before.
Adding Iran soon won't even be able to make more missiles and drones. And Hegseth says this about Iran's leaders.
Desperate and hiding, they've gone underground, cowering. That's what rats do. We know the new so-called not-so-supreme leader is wounded and likely disfigured.
The secretary spoke hours after the U.S. military confirmed 4 Americans were killed in a mid-air collision in Iraq involving refueling planes. 2 other service members are missing. Here's the military's top general, Joint Chiefs Chairman Dan Kane.
The incident occurred over friendly territory in western Iraq while the crew was on a combat mission, and again was not the result, as CENTCOM has said, was not the result of hostile or friendly fire.
Back to the secretary. He also just said the military keeps investigating if it was a U.S. strike earlier in the conflict that damaged a school that Iran says killed more than 100 students. Hegseth says, unlike Iran, the U.S.
never targets civilians. Literally never targets civilians.
The day after a man drove a truck into a Michigan synagogue near Detroit and started shooting and then was shot and killed by security guards, we're learning.
He was born in Lebanon, entered the U.S. in 2011, and became a U.S. citizen in 2016. According to the Dearborn Heights mayor, where the suspect lived, he lost several members of his family, including his niece and nephew, in an airstrike this weekend in Lebanon as part of the war in Iran.
That's Fox's Madison Scarpino outside the synagogue. An attacker was also killed at Old Dominion University in Virginia after shooting an instructor dead and wounding 2 others. ROTC students attacked and killed the gunman. America's listening to Fox News.
So my friends over at Pure Talk have been sending me customer feedback from consumeraffairs.com, where thousands of people rate and review the top wireless providers. Here, for instance, is a nice note from James in Raleigh, North Carolina, who writes, quote, after hearing Mike Rowe's ad, we made the switch to Pure Talk, and we couldn't be happier. We went from spending $1,200 a year with T-Mobile to $420 with Pure Talk. Thanks, Mike. Switch today.